But fortunately, Steve Beuerlein's available, and to me, Steve's a fine performer, a guy that's proven himself with the Raiders, and so I don't think they've lost a step.
Beuerlein acquired from the Raiders for a number 4 draft pick, and he makes the fit with this Dallas team. They're very excited about the way he played last week against the Skins, and he goes after Pittsburgh today, although he'll be playing with an injury. He, too, was nicked and hit it very well against the Skins, a very bad ankle.
Well, that's a problem. I think you can see how tightly it's bound. It'll limit what he does, Dick, and I don't think they'll be asking him to move around. It'll be play passes and the running game, and that's going to be critical for Dallas.
And they have one of the game's top runners in Emmitt Smith. For Pittsburgh, their leading rusher, Barry Foster, it's still maybe on his injured ankle. They hope that this Dallas native will be able to play today.
That could be a problem. Warming up, very, very stiff, didn't do very much. So to me, it'll be Merrill Hodge carrying the load again for Pittsburgh. He's done it before, but he's going to have to really be an Iron Man today.
Cowboys and Steelers, Bob, will be back in a bit.
All right, Dick, Bill, thanks. We'll check back with you for the call of the game on this Thanksgiving Day. What do you think?
Well, I think this is Dallas's necessary game. They've got New Orleans, Philadelphia, and Atlanta, 3 strong playoff contenders. This looks like their best chance in the last month. Beuerlein, Dallas needs to get this one.
Regardless of what they do today, and with Aikman out, just as he was toward the end of last year when they missed the playoffs, there's a question mark. But they're on the verge of becoming a very good team. The Walsh trade, the Herschel Walker trade, they stockpiled the picks, they got the young players. They got 6 picks in the first 3 rounds in the upcoming draft. They're on their way, aren't they?
Well, they're very close. You know, they won 7 last year. They'd like to improve on that this year and get in the playoffs. That's been their goal all along.
Willie?
Something that you just said, Bob, when I was talking to Tom Landry earlier this week, he said, things are going to change for the Cowboys now. With their record, beating Washington last Sunday, they're going to be recognized as a contender. And once you're recognized as a contender, things get a lot tougher.
Well, the early game on this Thanksgiving Day was a battle between the top 2 teams in the NFC Central. It's just about over. Looks like the Lions will tie for the top spot in that Central Division. They're in front 16-6. Their only touchdown, an Eric Kramer 9-yard pass to Robert Clark. Eddie Murray has 3 field goals, including a 50-yarder. Kevin Butler has kicked 2 field goals for the Bears. Neither Barry Sanders nor Neil Anderson has had an overwhelming day. The Bears have been inside the 20-yard line on 5 different occasions in this game, and they have not scored a touchdown. They only have the 2 Kevin Butler field goals. So 16-6 Detroit. Both these clubs will be 9-4 with 3 games remaining in the regular season. They have split their 2 games head-to-head. On this day of giving thanks, many of the players around the NFL have reason to give thanks as well. The Oilers' Warren Moon has always been charitable in the Houston community. Through his Crescent Moon Foundation, well, he gives both time and money.
There's so many people at Christmas and Thanksgiving that don't have an opportunity to either have a good meal or have a nice Christmas dinner and gifts and the whole bit. So this is a very special time for me and my family to be able to give back to those who don't have as much.
Several members of the Miami Dolphins, including linebacker Mike Reichenbach, spread some holiday cheer by distributing free turkeys this week.
As far as taking things to different people and the people knowing about it, and these are people we know who need, so of course we wanted to do anything we could.
At halftime today, we're going to bring you the story of Broncos rookie defensive end Kenny Walker. Walker is deaf, and last week, with Denver playing at Seattle, the Seahawks had the national anthem communicated in sign language as a gesture of respect to Walker. And Gail Gardner will bring you Kenny Walker's remarkable story at halftime. Up next, O.J. joins us. We'll hear from some of the former Cowboys and Steelers with Thanksgiving greetings and recollections of a great rivalry. That's as NFL Live continues on Thanksgiving Day.
This special Thanksgiving edition of NFL Live is brought to you by Subaru, It's What to Drive. By Cotton Incorporated for America's cotton growers. Cotton, the fabric of our lives. And by Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares.
Making a sports car, it seems mandatory to mention how fast it can go. All right, with an overhead cam engine capable of producing 228 pounds of torque, The new Subaru SVX can reach speeds in excess of 140 miles per hour. But how important is that? Most of the time you're in traffic, and anyway, it's stupid and dangerous and a waste of precious fossil fuels to drive like that. Instead, why not mention the things you shouldn't mention about a sports car? A strong well, an anti-lock braking system, the ability to carry 4 adults, all-wheel drive, engineering that endures. Still, if it's speed you want, we promise you'll easily be able to go as fast as the law allows. Subaru, what to drive.
In the silent dawn, a golden sun, soft kiss, warm smile, the day's begun, the touch, the feel, the fabric of our lives, the touch, the feel of cotton, the fabric of our lives.
It's Christmas, and Radio Shack has great holiday values, like this Duophone answering machine on sale for $69.95. We can get our messages from anywhere.
Honey, guess what? I was just at Radio Shack, and they have that Duophone cordless telephone I want on sale. It has handset paging, automatic redial for $59.95. Just thought I'd mention it. Bye.
Thanks, Radio Shack.
Great selection, specially priced for Christmas.
Radio Shack, America's technology store.
He's going to throw. He's a Swan. Touchdown. Lynn Swan. Touchdown.
You know, it's tough to think of the Steelers and the Cowboys without thinking of those Super Bowl games, 10 and 13, 2 of the best ever, both won by Pittsburgh.
Well, certainly the rivalry between those two teams was forged in the 70s when they met in those Super Bowls. Now, I attended both games, and they were among the finest Super Bowls I've ever seen. Now, we had a chance to spend some time with those players and get their memories as well as their holiday thoughts. More than a decade removed from their classic Super Bowl meetings, the players from these two great teams are spending this Thanksgiving mixing football memories with holiday wishes.
Hi, I'm Tony Dorsett, number 33, and this is Mary. She's number 1. When I think of the Steelers, I think of Super Bowl 13, the game that we lost 35-31. But I'd like to take this time to wish those Steelers, and of course my former teammates, a happy Thanksgiving. And of course, to all of you out there, happy Thanksgiving.
Tony is now president of DA Chemical in Dallas. Over in Pittsburgh, Franco Harris works for a sporting card company, and Lynn Swan is a broadcaster.
Anyway, Frank, we never played a Thanksgiving game. Yes, we did. When day?
No, we didn't.
Yes, played against the Detroit Lions.
What year?
That would be 19...
I wasn't there, too. I retired from it. We didn't play in 82. 83 you played it.
Oh, 83 we played it.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
I was there. You know what? You're lucky.
Thank you.
Because we got killed.
Hey, shall we say happy Thanksgiving?
I think we should.
Okay.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
From the old guys.
Hi, I'm Roger Staubach, and off to my starboard side is our son Jeff, our youngest daughter Amy, my wife Marianne, a good-looking grandmother, our granddaughter Jessica, our oldest daughter Jennifer, and our son-in-law John. We're missing Michelle and Stephanie. It's Thanksgiving Day, the Steelers. It brings back a cold sweat to me. Mean Joe Green, Jack Lambert, some tough losses. But the new young Cowboys are going to take care of those Steelers today.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Roger lives in Dallas and is chairman of the Staubach Real Estate Company.
Hello, my name is Robert Newhouse, formerly number 44 of the Dallas Cowboys, and I'd like to introduce everyone to my lovely family. Of course, number 1, my wife, Nancy Newhouse, and my twin daughters, Danielle and Chantel, and my youngest son, Reginald, and of course, my oldest son, Roderick Newhouse, and hopefully one day he'll wear number 44 and be able to play in the NFL and beat up on some Pittsburgh Steelers. But anyway, happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Robert remains with the Cowboys as Director of Sports Development. Rocky Blyer, his wife, son, and daughter live in Pittsburgh, where Rocky runs a management firm.
Bradshaw and myself made eye contact across the field. He was rushing dearly for his life towards the sidelines, and he released the ball, and the ball came floating into the air, and I leaped all 5'9.5" me as high as I possibly could. 18, 19, 20 feet, I kind of forget after all these years, and I grabbed that ball and came down into the end zone to give us that lead, and of course the momentum then to carry us on the second half.
Of course, there were some guys we just couldn't find. Does anyone ever know what happened to what's his name? Terry Bradshaw. After finishing his playing career in 1983, Terry seems to have just vanished.
Yes, his whereabouts are unknown. He has sadly slipped into obscurity.
Well, he was a great quarterback, and they had a great offense, but I look at their defense, and Bill, I can never recall seeing a defense with more impact players.
Well, they had a solid front line, a great group of linebackers, and the secondary was full of playmakers. I mean, what else you want?
Pittsburgh won both those Super Bowls, and to take nothing away from the Steelers, though, especially you look at Super Bowl 13, the great Jackie Smith should be in the Hall of Fame, unfortunately drops that pass in the end zone. Controversial pass interference against Benny Barnes. That one could have gone to Dallas. We'll go to Dallas to talk things over with the only coach the Cowboys had for the first 29 years of their existence, Tom Landry. His conversation with Will McDonough is next.
Darling, after 10 years, the only thing I'd change about you is your clothes.
Bugle boy.
Why don't you try this one on first?
Dave Thomas is still traveling the world over looking for new foods for Wendy's.
No thanks, I just ate.
Hey.
Hi. Boy, I sure could go for a Big Dave's Deluxe.
It's back. Made with a quarter-pound of fresh beef, cheese, 3 strips of bacon, sauteed onions. The works.
Hey, this isn't Piccadilly.
Come in for another Big Dave's Deluxe, only at Wendy's.
There's no place like home.
Hey, D Brown, what are you doing here in New York?
Purchasing my new dunk and my new shoes, Reebok Omni-Zones.
Reebok Omni-Zones?
Yeah, very lightweight, which is key for this jam.
Oh, yeah? Which jam?
The King Kong Jam.
Ready when you are, Tony!
It's the biggest after Thanksgiving sale ever at Montgomery Ward. Friday and Saturday only. Plus, save an extra 10% even on sale prices. Get in early for an extra 10% off brand name merchandise, including all apparel, all fine jewelry. Get an extra 10% off all day on the hottest brand names. All electronics, all appliances, and all furniture. Plus 0% interest and a free Rudolph book to the first 200 shoppers. Put more under the tree for less at Montgomery Ward. Right now!
And we sent Clint Longley and hadn't played a game, a down in there. And it was right at the end of the ball game. Clint came back and threw a touchdown pass to Drew Pearson, the last play to win the ball game by 1 point. And George kept saying, hey, Drew Pearson broke his route. That's the only reason they scored against us.
Well, the George Landry refers to, of course, is the late George Allen. Tom Landry coached 21 Thanksgiving Day games for Dallas, but none was as memorable as that one. This week, the great Cowboy coach sat down with the great Will McDonough.
So when I came in here last night, I was talking to some of the local people, and we told them we're going to see you today. They said, Tom Landry, he sort of like disappeared, you know. And they can't understand how you could sort of just divorce yourself from football the way you have.
Well, you know, it's amazing. When it happened, when the ownership changed, it just seems like I just quit thinking about football, and I thought about other things. And since that time, I haven't missed it at all, which most people would be very surprised. But you got to remember, well, I've been in it 40 years, you know, of pro football, and that's an awful long time.
Yeah, you've told me I think you've only been in the stadium, what, once or twice to see the Cowboys play since you left?
No, I haven't even been in the stadium since the Cowboys left. I think football teams are people. I think it's the coaches, the athletes, you know, that play, the front office, and all that's been stripped out of the Cowboys, which I don't say that's wrong. I mean, they come in, they buy the club for $110 million, they ought to do what they want to with it in there, but you just doesn't feel like it's the Dallas Cowboys to me when I look at it, because I don't recognize anybody.
There's been a big thing around here, a little bit about the country, about the Ring of Honor. People want you to go in there. I think there was some kind of an invitation for you to go in there, and yet you haven't gone in there. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, at the time, I think a couple of years ago, we talked about it some, and I just didn't feel comfortable at that time, you know, going into the Ring of Honor. And this past year, not a lot was said about it. So, and I'm not really concerned about it, Will. I love the guys that are in there already.
But I think you would like to be in there. I talked to Tex this year when he went in the Hall of Fame, and he sort of told me, he says, I think if the thing's approached right, and Tom really feels right about the way it was approached and everything, that he would like to go in there. Does that pretty much sum up the way it is?
Well, I guess so. Well, I haven't really thought much about it in there. If it comes up again, then I'm going to have a reaction. I'm not sure what it's going to be.
Do you see the game changing since you've been out of it?
The game is changing, well, because of several reasons. One thing is the ownership is changing. And so you're seeing a different leadership coming out of the National Football League at this point. And a lot of it is because it's so expensive. Mm-hmm. You know, just like Jerry Jones buys the Cowboys for, what they say, $110 million or something. Well, when you do that, the game changes a little bit. And it's different from that standpoint. The money is different. It's getting so big. You know, and
I think what you're saying is there's more pressure now.
There's
Do you
just
think
more.
That sort of filters down to the coaches and maybe even the officials?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I think when Bill Walsh stepped down, he stepped down from the pressure. I think Bill Parcells did, because he recognized the pressure there and he stepped down. And I think that's what you're going to see in the National Football League from the coaches' standpoint.
Thanksgiving Day games and around the country, Tom, became a tradition when you were there. You know, people had their dinner and they turn on the TV set. And, well, you're not with them this Thanksgiving. What will you be doing?
Well, I'll be enjoying my turkey a lot better. You know, a lot of times on Thanksgiving, we always ate after the game, you know, and sometimes I couldn't eat very well because we didn't play very well. But it was a tradition in our house, you know, that we'd always come together after the game. And so, but we're going to come together this time and enjoy the game and not worry about it. I'll enjoy the turkey very much this year.
But you'll still have the game on, I bet.
Probably will, yeah.
You know, through the years, Tom Landry has received his share of criticism. Some of it's been rather harsh over the last few years, and that's understandable. You can't be in that position that long without getting involved in some controversies, making some mistakes, so there may be some merit in some of that, but you take people as you find them. I remember when I was 24 years old, I was working for KMOX Radio in St. Louis. The Cardinals were hosting the Cowboys. That was then a big game in the NFC East, the mid-'70s. I'd just come out of Don Coryell's office, and my next appointment was to talk with Tom Landry. 24 years old, you're a little intimidated. I'll never forget the way Landry treated me. You know, it just made me feel at ease and comfortable, talked with me at length. I found the guy to be a gentleman every time I ever dealt with him.
Well, along with that, Bob, you know, when I first got in the league, even though it was strong competition, Coach Landry had the time for a young coach like myself to answer questions. And I know when he retired, I wrote him a letter thanking him for paving the way for guys like myself. And I think he epitomizes all that's good about coaching in the NFL.
He's right. You know, Tom Landry's one of the class guys I've come across in 30 years in the game. When I was down there talking to him this week, I said, well, how's retirement, Tom? You're taking it easy. He says, well, I'm traveling 3 or 4 days a week. My wife keeps saying to me, Tom, you're supposed to be retired. And he says his biggest problem right now is learning how to say no. He hasn't learned that yet.
Well, we're going to have to step aside here for just a moment. But up next, we're rejoined by the Juice. He'll take a look back to last Thanksgiving, which was a special one for him. That's his NFL Live continues.
Look for the stars, and you'll find
luxury car says a lot about its owner.
Mine says I'm witty beyond belief.
Mine says I'm more Europeanish.
Mine says I'm the product of superior genes.
A luxury car says
I'm so successful I can go into debt.
I'm much more handsome.
cosmopolitan.
Another pathetic sheep following the herd.
Says a lot.
I'm irresistible.
Powerful.
Stylish. Sexy.
Dynamic.
The all-wheel drive Subaru Legacy. All it says is that you bought a great car and you can still pay your mortgage.
If you could be the executive producer, would you choose this event or this event? With the Olympics Triplecast, you'll get 24-hour coverage for 15 days on 3 cable channels. So now for the '92 Barcelona Olympics, you can choose your event. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC. The Olympics Triplecast, a whole new way to see the games.
VHS camcorders just got into shape. The Sharp Slim Cam, the world's smallest, lightest full-size VHS camcorder. Big camcorder features like 12:1 zoom and tapes that fit your VCR. Sharp Slim Cam, the great new shape in camcorders.
At Braun, we believe even if you're not at your best in the morning, at least you can look like you are. Braun, the world's #1 selling foil shaver.
This is a T-72M1 Polish-built Russian design tank. And as you can see, it's just built for a person that's 5 feet 5'6". Small people that made it a small.
Wait. 5'6"?
5'6".
Bob, no. I won't get into that.
Yeah, well, at least you understand now that there are some things for which a person who is nicely compact is better suited than one who is grossly oversized.
Yeah, you would have been very comfortable in one of those tanks with those stealth bombers coming in there. I'm sure you would have been very comfortable, Bob.
Yeah.
Well, you know, my trip to the Middle East was really unforgettable, but I must admit I'm glad to be here this year. And so are most of the men and women from Operation Desert Storm and Desert Shield who are reunited with their families for this Thanksgiving. With Thanksgiving upon us again, it hardly seems possible that a year has passed since visiting the troops in Saudi Arabia. The images are still fresh, but the memory of one soldier, Specialist Anthony Deemer, left a lasting memory.
I'm making hot water. A lot of people say that I couldn't boil hot water, but I proved them wrong. You see what I'm saying? Look at that water right there. You see it? Look like it want to boil. Look like it want to boil.
Well, what is it going to be?
It's going to be hot gold, Texas tea, black gold, Texas tea, the good old coffee, Java. Yetta.
1 year later, Anthony is stationed at Fort Stewart in Hinesville, Georgia, and I paid him a visit last week.
Hey, how you doing, Jay? What's up? How you been doing?
Not bad, man. How you doing?
I'm trying to hang.
The isolation of the desert prevented Anthony from seeing the show last year, so we held a private screening. Is this what you thought it was going to be like when you joined the Army?
No,
What did you expect? Join the Army and see the world?
Well, you know, that's true. I just wanted to see a little portion of the world, not this far, you know, but since I'm over here, you know, my motto is be all you can be and get out, you know.
What's your plans now?
I might re-enlist, you know. I go ahead on and just deal with it a couple more years. It's all right.
On January 28th, while he was in Saudi Arabia, Anthony's wife, Tanya, gave birth to their second child, Chelsea, a new sister for their 3-year-old daughter, Allison.
From the Deemer family to all of you, we'd like to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and you never know how much you have to be thankful for.
Well, the juice tells me that Anthony Deemer is from Louisiana. As such, he's a Saints fan. His team rests along with most of the rest of the league today. The Lions are finished now with the Bears. 16-6 is the final from the Silverdome in Pontiac. Those two teams are tied now atop the NFC Central. 2 more teams set to go to work, the Steelers and the Cowboys from Dallas. We'll be back with you at halftime and bring you the story of the Broncos' Kenny Walker.
My dad had ulcers, so when my stomach started acting up, I was afraid to go to the doctor. But finally, I went. Was I relieved when my doctor said Mylanta? He said it was indigestion, not an ulcer, and my kind of indigestion called for a strong medicine.
Mylanta is strong medicine, strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
And try Mylanta's Mylacon. It has the best medicine for gas.
Sunday, join Dwight Yoakam, Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin brothers, Kathy Patea, and me, Randy Travis, for Hot Country Nights. That's NBC Sunday.
Pizza Hut presents the Stop and Go. Gary Clark demonstrates. Clark split right. He's got man coverage. Clark runs for Pizza Hut. He stops. Then he goes straight home. Sort of. If you stop at Pizza Hut, you'll get a deal on a Supreme Pan Pizza. Oh, nice cut. Buy this veteran pizza for $8.99 and get any other medium on the roster for just $4 more. Don't want to go out? Call Pizza Hut Delivery. Either way, you'll get the home field advantage.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
Before you haul off and buy a Toyota, check out the 92 Nissan pickup. The Nissan 4x2 has more standard horsepower. No kidding. More cargo volume. Oh, yeah? And the Nissan truck retains its value better than any other truck in its class. I didn't know that. Plus a low sticker price and huge factory-to-dealer incentives mean the truck with more now costs even less.
See your Washington area Nissan dealer today and check out the tough Nissan truck for yourself.
Who knew?
It's Macy's Great Thanksgiving Week sale, and we're saying thanks to all our customers who shop in our men's store. We thank you with our sensational fall price break. Save 20 to 40% on sweaters. Save 20 to 30% on dress shirts, suits, sport coats, and overcoats. Leather jackets, $199.99. Everything a man could want. Macy's Thanksgiving Week sale continues after Thanksgiving with special holiday hours Friday through Sunday.
We're a part of your life.
Taking a trip out west.
Monday at 5.
The omnipotent Steelers of the 70s, Terry Bradshaw and Franco Harris and Jack Lambert, building a tradition, a Super Bowl lore, as were the Cowboys of Roger Staubach and Tony Dorsett and Randy White. Twice they won the Super Bowl for Tom Landry, and twice they lost it to Chuck Noll's Steelers. Matched in Super Bowl X, the Steelers' muscle overpowered Cowboy finesse. The Steel Curtain became part of Super Bowl legend. Super Bowl XIII showcased the ballet grace, the physical poetry of Lynn Swann. Mindful of their Super Bowl tradition, the Steelers have stayed with Chuck Noll for 23 years, while the Cowboys seek anew with Jimmy Johnson. Today, the Cowboys, the Steelers, Thanksgiving, the richest of NFL.
Tradition! Tradition! Tradition!
From Texas Stadium in Irving, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. The tradition continues on this holiday in a match of Super Bowl rivals of the past. The Steelers and the Cowboys, the 24th Thanksgiving Day game here in Texas.
Yahooing. They're 7-5, and they feel they have realistic hopes at a wild card spot in the upcoming playoffs.
Well, Jimmy Johnson is the key. He is agitated. He's uncomfortable. He's intent. He's troublesome. He didn't want us to see practice. He didn't want to meet with us. But you know something, Dick? He's a winner. He's a winner all the way. I can remember the 12th week of the season, how agitated I was. He's hands-on, and he shakes it till it works.
And if he's going to win today, he'll have to go with his backup quarterback, the former Raider, Steve Beuerlein, as Troy Aikman went down with a knee injury in the Washington win.
I think Beuerlein will be fine. He has the ankle problem, but I think he'll play fine. But Chuck Noll, now here's his hopes. He's got Neil O'Donnell, a young quarterback, and Chuck's been persistent. He has patience. He's really worked at it, but his major problem is he can't get to that last plateau. So today we'll get another look at Neil O'Donnell and see whether he can be the guy that can beat Pittsburgh back to its glory.
The Cowboys will kick it off. The Steelers won the toss. rookie Jeff Graham from Ohio State. 81 is deep. We're underway on this Thanksgiving Day and Big D at the 1-yard line. Dwight Stone, the speedster. Oh my, is he cut down by Stan Smagala from Notre Dame. Neil O'Donnell brings the Steeler offense on the field, and they are nicked. The offensive line, Jackson, Ricketts, Dawson, Hasselrig, and the veteran Tunch Hilken. O'Donnell from the University of Maryland has Merrill Hodge, good runner, good receiver. Barry Foster will try to go. He has a bad ankle. Lewis slips, Dwight Stone outside. Rookie Adrian Cooper's the tight end, and they're the men that come in pass situations. They start deep in their own end at the 11. And it's Merrill Hodge, brought down by Ken Norton, the linebacker.
Hodge wanted to bounce outside. The play was designed to go inside, but Hodge saw that Dallas stuffed it with their left defensive end, Jeffcoat. And so when he bounced, all it took was Norton to scrape outside. This is a very interesting defense Dallas plays, Dick. A front four that have to really cover a number of gaps because they stack 3 linebackers behind everybody.
And Norton, the son of the former heavyweight champion, Ken Norton Sr., was the only man between Hodge and a good run, made a solid tackle for a loss. And another one for the Cowboy defense, Tony Casillas, the former Atlanta Falcon.
Right now, not so good for Pittsburgh. On 2 plays, the Dallas front four has really made a difference. Casillas just walks right by Hazelwig to the ball. He wasn't even slowed down.
So 6 yards deficit in 2 running tries by the Steelers, and Jimmy Johnson's defense now will gear up 3rd and long. Chuck Noll will turn 60 January of next year. Only Hodge behind him as they go with 4 wide receivers. O'Donnell draw play, and Hodge breaks 1 tackle, another just to get back to the 4.
That Dallas front four is attacking, and at this point, in these initial stages, the Pittsburgh offensive line is not taking them on physically. They're just walking right through the defense. Now there's a line stunt that gets it right on top of people, and there was no way to pick it up.
That was Russell Maryland, the #1 draft pick, first player selected, that slowed him down, and Robert Williams made the stop, and in to punt for the Steelers, Dan Straczynski. His numbers on the year, and Kelvin Martin Kmart at the 45 of Pittsburgh. Very high kick. Martin, fair catch at the Dallas 49. Excellent kick to get Pittsburgh at least out of the hole. 47 yards, no return for Straczynski, who did his kicking for the Hoosiers of Indiana. Dallas, and here's how they look offensively. Mark Tounier, Kevin Gogan, Mark Stepnoski, John Giesick, a former Raider, and Nate Newton comes back from an injury. Beuerlein, the quarterback today, first time for him in a Dallas start. Emmitt Smith, one of the top runners in the league. Darrell Johnston is his blocker. They both go out when they have their nickel situation. Alvin Harper and Michael Irvin joined by Agee and by Kelvin Martin. First play goes to Emmitt Smith, and he is to the Pittsburgh 46, a gain of 5. Hardly a steel curtain, this 91 unit, although they were first in defense last year. Wilson, Williams, and Evans, the down linemen. The backers are Hinkle, Nickerson, Little leads in tackles, and Lloyd in big plays. Defensive backfield, David Johnson, one of the game's best corners, Rod Woodson, Carnell Lake, and Thomas Everett at safety, and these extra bodies come in a nickel situation. 2nd and 5. Beuerlein handing off to Smith, trapped in the backfield, no gain as number 57 Gerald Williams slashes in. Played his college ball at Purdue. They've dropped from #1 in the NFL total defense and pass defense last year, and they're 21st in defense this year. That has Coach Noel puzzled.
It really does, because not a lot of injuries, not a lot of people knocked out of there. They've infused some new talent, but the whole thing has either been deciphered by the opposition, or maybe it's just who they played. But for whatever, the one thing they counted on in the past hasn't been there this year.
Beuerlein on 3rd and 5. You expect to see his first pass of the day, and back he goes. The quickie is complete to the tight end, Rob Awol. First down.
Awol simply ran a quick out pattern, about a 7-yard pattern, breaking outside, man-to-man coverage, and Cornell Lake couldn't make the play. He's fast enough, but he got fooled on the break. Now, Cornell Lake from UCLA is a 4.440, and you see the action. He just takes so severe an inside position that outbreak was going to be there for Awol.
At least to Beuerlein, his first throw to Awol, the former Phoenix Cardinal tight end. First down at the 35.
Lake's going to have to be more physical with Awol. He's going to have to stuff him at the line.
Little delay, Emmitt Smith. Oh, he's dangerous. He'll almost come to a complete stop as he does there, and then he'll dart to open territory. He's been brilliant all of his football life. He was a storied high school player in Pensacola when he gained over 8,000 yards. Right as a freshman at the University of Florida, he was a star, played 3 years. He's only 22 years of age.
You know, they wanted him at University of Miami, no question about it. Jim Johnson wanted him, but Miami was a passing team, and Smith said, I want to run from that eye, and I want to run downhill. So Jimmy Johnson knew right from the start it'd be awfully tough to convince him to play a split back offense.
Gets 18 carries or more. Beuerlein dumps it off to Smith. He's to the 25, and that's close to a first down.
That was a beautiful job by Steve Beuerlein. Right at the last instant, he comes outside to his flaring back, looking straight up the field. He didn't telegraph the throw, and when he turned him through it, it came right into that area where you can catch it and run. So Beuerlein's mechanics, he worked with Mike White with the Raiders for over a year, and now coming here with Norv Turner, he's had excellent coaching. His mechanics are outstanding, and that's why he fits into this quick passing system that Norv Turner's installed.
3rd down and 1. Just outside the Pittsburgh 25. First possession of the game. Whoops, Steelers were offside, and Smith is inside the 20-yard line.
Beuerlein got this done against the Redskins last week, Dick. He had them offsides 3 different times, the same kind of situation where their defensive team wants to get after it, wants to explode, to take the line of scrimmage. He just uses his shoulders and his cadence and gets them pulled. Now you can see not a lot of movement, but that snap count with that head bobbing just slightly and that noise or sound inflection gets people coming undone. And they did it against the Redskins the same way.
It's first down.
Red Cashin is our referee today. He's able to work today in home territory from Texas A&M, and his home a couple of hours from here in Bryan, Texas.
So you can anticipate Beuerlein whenever he feels short yardage or a blitz coming, he'll play around with that snap count and give people problems.
They take Emmitt's run to the 19. Good pump fake. Wide open is Irvin off his fingertips. Michael Irvin, who leads the Cowboys with 65 catches and leads the NFL. He's the first receiver over 1,000 yards.
Did they go for it? Irvin started a slant move there and now right back outside. And Woodson wanted to make a play inside. He wanted to cut off the slant, and it's just overthrown by inches. And Beuerlein did a fine job of pumping, then throwing down the field.
Well, what you've got to like about Irvin, and there's Beuerlein's numbers against the Redskins, 4 of his passes to Irvin, including a touchdown. That Irvin is competitive and cocky and confident, and he went after Darrell Green, one of the game's best, and this week he's going one-on-one against Woodson.
Well, his size helps. He's 6'3".
2nd and 10, Emmitt Smith. Cornell Lake hit him first, and then secured by Thomas Everett. Gain of 4, 3rd down and 6, and the Steelers' mass substitution bring in 4 new men.
Now, Darrell Johnston is a wonderful blocking fullback, and he's really like a guard. He'll come right into that hole and cut his man down. He got Nickerson down, and then the ball was able to slip right by. So throughout the day, we'll see Darrell Johnston leading the play. And if he's not leading it, everybody has to go to him because his blocking's there. Then the ball carrier, in this case Smith, will cut away from it. So he's a major factor, although he really never carries the ball himself.
Had the ball for nearly 6 minutes on this opening drive of the game. 9th play, 3rd and 6. Wide open again. Irvin struggles inside the 10. It looks as if he might be shy by about a foot. David Johnson saved the first down. Last week against the Redskins, Johnson very aggressive on 4th down. We'll see if he goes for the field goal or tries for it on 4th and 1.
Well, as you might guess, the strategy last week was to do something to nullify that Redskin momentum. So he took his shots. He took his chances. I'm not sure he'll do that today. I honestly feel Johnson feels he has a superior team, so he'll be much more conservative.
You want the 3, almost a certain 3, or do you go for it? They're going to please the crowd here in Irving, Texas. Going to try on 4th and a foot.
Well, I would kick, but that doesn't mean they won't make it. But I would kick here because Pittsburgh's not going to do a lot of scoring today. You want to get points on the board.
Johnson rolling the dice, going for a possible 7, ignoring an almost certain 3.
Well, at Pittsburgh, you're going to count on them attacking, and this is where Beuerlein can use that snap count again, Dick. He can get that defense really out of control by just using that hit bob and that snap count.
Emmitt Smith in the tail, and here he comes. First down, and more. First and goal at the 5.
Darrell Johnston led the play. Smith followed him, then just jumped outside. You see Johnson going in. The play's designed it, but now Smith will bounce it. Everybody's focusing inside on following that fullback in there, and Smith bounces outside.
Jimmy Johnson, his 3rd year, 48, of course, great career at the University of Miami, where his Hurricanes won a national championship and were 2nd in a run from 86, 87, 88, never lower than 2nd in 3 years. Smith, big hole! Touchdown! His 10th rushing touchdown of the season.
You have to give a lot of credit to the up-front people. You've got Jessic, Williams, and Stepnoski. They did a fine job of sustaining their block, so there's a lot of running room. Surprisingly, at this point on the field, Pittsburgh really didn't attack and focus inside.
Try for point now from Ken Willis, free agent from Kentucky, won a job last year. Jay Novacek, although injured, the tight end, will be the holder. Willis drills it through, and timeout. 6:58 left in the opening period. Dallas scores on its first try.
Check this out. Ouch! I'm sick of dating. You gotta fake it. So much madness, you just can't take it. Hey, don't go through this. I know what feels good. While the best thing's always so misunderstood. Just give me what the doctor ordered. Dr. Pepper. Just what the doctor ordered. Let's give you a Dr. Pepper. We want it. Whoa, just what the doctor ordered. The taste is made to order. We love it. Dr. Pepper.
Last year, the average price of a car with standard anti-lock brakes was over $40,000. But today, all that's changed. Because the company that offers more models with standard anti-lock brakes than anyone also offers the lowest priced car in America with standard anti-lock brakes. Chevy Cavalier.
The heartbeat of America.
The cars more people depend on.
That's today's Chevrolet.
You have a different view of life. You don't want to get bogged down in revolving credit on bank cards. All that revolving debt, all that outrageous interest. This is not for you. You know how to get out of that trap. The card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Let's face it, dot matrix printers just don't fly anymore. You see, Canon Bubblejet personal printers give you a crisp laser quality.
And dot matrix prices!
Bubblejet personal printers from Canon.
Well-conceived drive using the runs of Smith, 7 carries and 27 yards, and the accurate passes of Steve Beuerlein, and the Cowboys go 51 yards in 11 plays.
a little scary for Pittsburgh right now because offensively they haven't done a thing. And Dallas is mixing their play development, and Pittsburgh's been off balance all day.
Willis sends it high, a spinner inside the 5 to Dwight Stone. Boy, those Cowboys get down there in a hurry. Stone using his speed just to get to the 15-yard line where Robert Williams makes another tackle. Let's see if the Steelers do better this time. We got a timeout.
Maybe your first car shouldn't be a car. Get this Chevy S10 EL pickup with cash back for around $8,000. Chevrolet. The trucks you can depend on. The trucks that last.
This man's incredibly close, comfortable shave comes from the Norelco razor. But to see how he got it, we have to go back to when he began shaving. Not just above the skin, but below it. Here, our patented lift and cut system lifts the hair so when it's cut, it can actually drop below skin level without the blades even touching your face. Try it, and you'll keep going back to Norelco for a perfect shave. Norelco, we make close, comfortable.
My husband, Elliot, he's an inventor. He's made a very good life for both of us. Last year, this big company paid a lot of money for one of his ideas. Elliot even thought about opening his own company, but in the end, we decided to invest the money. Besides, I'm not sure Elliot's cut out to work in an office anyway.
Ask your financial advisor about Nuveen tax-free investments, or simply call this number.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Starter. Look for the stars and you'll find Starter. By Chevrolet, the heartbeat of America, the cars more people depend on. By Budweiser, the king of beers. With that clean, crisp, cold taste, nothing beats a Bud. And by John Nuveen and Company. Quality tax-free investment since 1898.
Now the football shrine with a hole in the roof. Part of the Tex Ram era. Beautiful Texas Stadium. 75 degrees on this Thanksgiving Day. The Steelers start from their 16, trailing 7-0. O'Donnell to the sidelines to Lewis, lifts and lifts several times, and All-Pro gets it to the 22-yard line.
Lipps has been really a steady football player, a steadying influence on the ball club. As a rookie, he was in the Pro Bowl. As a rookie, he was 19.1 yards per catch and 9 touchdowns. So right from the start, this guy's been a star in Pittsburgh. Of course, he's quite an entrepreneur too, right, Dick?
That's right. He owns everything from funeral homes to a cookie business.
Got the daycare center.
41 catches now. That equals Eric Green's 41. Green, the big tight end, out for the season with a broken ankle. Merrill Hodge plowing to the 25.
A little scary right now for Pittsburgh, and I'll tell you why. Dallas is just beating Pittsburgh to the punch all across the field. On the kickoffs, everything they do, they're beating Pittsburgh to the punch and making contact before Pittsburgh's ready for it. And it's just that attacking style of football, and Pittsburgh is not playing as physical as you'd expect a Chuck Noll team. And, of course, there's plenty of time, and a couple of big plays might turn that whole emotional factor around.
3rd down and 1 from the 25. Mix up, and part of that good defensive charge from the Cowboys.
I'm not sure it was a mix-up. It could very well have been a quarterback sneak, faking left and coming back. But one way or the other, the people inside, Casillas and Maryland, just dominate that inside factor. Look at this pressure up inside. There's nowhere to run. And Del Rio is right on top of the center. And very, very fortunate if they made it.
Well, I guess they did. That's the signal from Red Cashin. Well, that's a little variation off the quarterback sneak, and in between a sneak and a quarterback draw, a little false step.
Right, they wanted Jack Del Rio to get moving with a fullback and then not be a factor, but Del Rio just didn't buy it.
1 yard was enough. First down. There's Del Rio, drafted by the Saints back in 1985 out of Southern California. He leads Dallas in tackles.
Trouble.
Hodge by Russell Maryland. He's really coming into his own, and veteran Jim Jeffcoat. Maryland, they call him the Conscience because of his terrific work ethic. First player picked in the draft last year after his Outland Trophy year with the Canes. As self-described as a fat kid from Chicago, going all the way to the #1 NFL pick. He was about a 330-pound high school senior and got 60 pounds in his freshman year at Miami.
Well, you know, he was the last player recruited. The last scholarship went to Russell Maryland. They thought, why not give him a chance? But then the drills they ran, he had the stamina of the lighter, more physically equipped people.
O'Donnell guns it to his tight end, complete Adrian Cooper from Oklahoma. Cooper and Cash now playing. Actually, Chuck Noll is down to his 3rd and 4th tight ends. Of course, Eric Green, a potential All-Pro, and then Mike Mularkey, he's not suited up today.
Cooper's just going to run a hooking pattern, and the ball's going to be there before anybody can really respond. You've got to hold the ball in that situation because people were after him.
The Steelers hoping they've latched on to another Keith Jackson. Cooper caught the ball very little in the Oklahoma offense. He's a 4th-round draft pick. He caught only 13 passes as a senior, and he has 6 with that one today here in the NFL in his first year.
Well, he's thrust into a lot of playing time. I'm sure he didn't really expect this with Green and Mularkey and some of the other guys available.
Hodge caught in the backfield by Jim Jeffcoat. Oh, Hodge is in the minus pool in this first quarter.
You know, Hodge is making a brave effort, no question about it. He's got strength and he's got stamina. Is he going to need it? 5 carries, 2 yards.
-2.
-2.
So on 3rd and 1, the Steelers fail and end to punt. Dan Trzynski. Kelvin Martin back at the Dallas 27.
Beating him to the punch. It's that simple.
Ooh, high snap. And he eats it at the 16 as Robert Williams makes another play.
Robert Williams explodes. He doesn't give Trzynski a chance. There's a high snap. He takes his eye off the ball, but Dallas is attacking. And any mistake, any hesitance, and it blows up in Pittsburgh's face. Now, this is a matter of being just a little bit preoccupied with who might block it instead of catching the ball.
Dermontti Dawson, the center, a bit too tall for Trzynski, and the Cowboys with the first break of the game, already leading 7-0 with 2:42 left in the opening period. Oops, before the snap, it was Gerald Williams into the center. The Steelers' nose guard. Was he drawn offside?
Well, it's that cadence that Beuerlein's using is going to really disrupt Pittsburgh until they get used to it.
Now the Steelers are applauding, but it's against them.
Yep.
Encroachment by the nose tackle. 5 yards, still first down.
Nothing going right for Noll in this first period, and that's been the story of the Steelers season. They've scored only a touchdown in 1 game's first quarter all year. They've been starting in the hole.
What is it, 11 out of 12 without a touchdown?
1st and 5. Smith caught in the backfield as slashing in was Carnell Lake, who was a 3-time all Pac-10 linebacker and then moved to strong safety by the Steelers after they picked him in the 2nd round 3 years ago.
Lake's an excellent athlete. He's a sprinter as well as being very physical. And he's one guy that I so wish we'd have drafted when I was with the 49ers, because he has really everything, but he's lacked somewhat the instincts of the player down the field, playing the ball in the air. But as far as the physical part of the game and his explosive quickness, they really took advantage of it there. It was just a safety blitz. Nobody could block him, and he made the play.
Loss of 3. Beuerlein in trouble, and down he goes as number 54, Hardy Nickerson from California, the first to make the hit. The hardware man.
Brought extra people. Now Nickerson's going to blitz inside, right up over the ball, and he's just too physical. That time Emmitt Smith just didn't pay the price to block him. But Dick, this really concerns me. When Beuerlein is being shoved down and driven into the ground, that ankle takes the wrong angle, and he could be out of the ball game. That's the scary part. He's got to get rid of the ball prematurely if necessary. Because with his ankle and one major twist, Jimmy Johnson could be looking at real trouble.
3rd down and 15 for Beuerlein. Sends Kelvin Martin in motion. Pressure again, and Beuerlein goes down at the 28-yard line. Gerald Williams, his 5th sack of the season.
Look at number 57 coming from the outside, then an inside line stunt. And this is what really gave Dallas trouble last week against the Redskins. The line stunts, the Dallas offensive line, where the defensive linemen cross or angle, has really given Dallas trouble. And it was evident last week and this week again. They're just not picking up people quickly enough, aren't as physical as they should be.
45-yard field goal by Ken Willis.
It's a young offensive line, but they're going to certainly have to protect the quarterback better.
He's got the depth, but it's wide to the right, no good. So the Steelers dodge a bullet after the high snap on the punt that gave the Cowboys position at the 16, but 2 sacks by the Pittsburgh defense pushes Willis too far for the 3-pointer.
And you'll find
most guys kick back on the weekends. Jack, on the other hand, so how do you feel?
Ready to rock and roll.
Only one beer has the taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Budweiser.
Tomorrow,
we're sleeping in. When you've got something precious to carry, this is one way to do it. Here's another. Chevy Lumina Euro Sedan. Engineered with 4-wheel independent suspension and standard anti-lock brakes. It's one way to help make sure your precious cargo is delivered safely. The cars more people depend on. Chevy Lumina. Family Circle's Domestic Family Car of the Year for the 2nd straight year.
Gene Shalit calls Cape Fear one of the most sensational suspense movies ever made. Fiendishly funny, says the New York Times. And USA Today calls it a masterpiece. From director Martin Scorsese, Cape Fear, rated R, now playing at theaters everywhere.
Ken Willis just had it right all the way, couldn't draw it back through, and that, of course, pleased the Steeler defense, who did a good job in pushing the Cowboys back, and of course did not please the headmaster here in Dallas. At the 28-yard line, O'Donnell and the Steelers go to work in the final minute of this first quarter, and Russell Maryland is in the mess again, along with Jack Del Rio, as the Steelers not showing any running game against this Dallas defense.
Well, anytime Pittsburgh is going to pull a guard or a tackle, anyone like that, Dallas is penetrating to the point they're there before the ball carrier gets there. So it's an attacking Dallas defense with their front four, and Pittsburgh not playing physical enough up front. Both offensive lines you put them in the middle of the league because neither can play real physical football at this point in their development.
8 carries for the Steelers rushing game, a -6 yards. 2nd down and long. O'Donnell just does get it away. Had a man close enough. Dwight Stone had to dump it.
Now that is what you call pressure. Everybody coming up the field. And Russell Maryland, you know, he played 6 games for Dallas and he had 1 tackle. The newspapers questioning the choice. Everybody wondering what they drafted. But finally, he's conditioned himself. He knows the game better. And, of course, Casillas next to him and Jeffcoat next to him, he's learning the game of pro football. They're just turning him loose, Dick.
What a distinguished honor. He's only the 4th defensive lineman ever picked first in the draft. Buck Buchanan, Bubba Smith, Kenneth Sims, and Russell Maryland. 3rd and 11.
Look out.
Got a man open, Stone, who came back to meet the ball right at the yardsticks. It'll be close to a first down at the 38. Isaac Holt covering for Dallas.
Casillas right down the middle, basically unblocked, and it took O'Donnell to move, then throw, and that's why that ball was barely caught in bounds, because the timing was disrupted because the quarterback had to move before he threw it. That's a good concentration. Got it done.
Feed in. Now they'll measure for the first down.
Boy, do they need this first down.
Stops the clock with 8 seconds left in this quarter, probably the last play, as they'll wind it as soon as the measurement is taken.
You don't think Joe Walton, the offensive coordinator for Pittsburgh, his mind is turning now, trying to figure out what to go to next? Everything's blowing up in their face, and it takes a big play outside just to get a first down. So I'm sure that Joe is really trying to figure how he's going to cope with this defense that's just attacking and ripping.
Joe Walton with a holiday look that had on forward, not backwards today. He's got that pitcher's look.
He doesn't realize it's on forward. He doesn't realize it. He'll figure it out at halftime.
And there is the final tick. The first quarter has expired, and it's the Cowboys 7, the Steelers nothing.
Your dentist told you about plaque. You knew what it could lead to. But you didn't listen. You need the new Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover. The unique cup-shaped brush cleans deep between each tooth and below the gum line. Just like your dentist wants you to.
That shelf should hold now, Doc.
The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover. Only your dentist does it better.
When you're the best, you can take a few knocks. With the best rust protection, Chevy Full Size is America's best-selling truck. Chevy trucks. The trucks you can depend on. The trucks that last.
If your VCR is a pain to program, then get rid of it. And get the one from RCA with VCR Plus built in. To record a show, just look for the VCR Plus code in your TV listing. Then punch it in. It's as simple as that. So if you had it with your old VCR, get rid of it. And get the easy-to-use RCA VCR with VCR Plus built in.
The Black & Decker Workmate. About all it can't help you do is clean up. But at least it gets out of your way, and it's a powerful gift idea.
Well, we've got a blitz. This is typical of what's happened all day. Blitz here, both inside linebackers blitzing, and people coming outside. Now look at what happens as O'Donnell wants to throw the ball. He's got everybody after him. And he wasn't prepared to throw the ball quickly. He didn't see the blitz coming.
That was the play before the one that ended the quarter with a first down. O'Donnell dumps it into the flat. And it's number 42, Warren Williams, who played for Jimmy Johnson at Miami of Florida. In his 4th year with the Steelers, picks up a few. Tony Tolbert and Vincent Smith collaborate on the tackle.
Smith's the best open field tackler on the team. No question about it. He's very, very quick and agile in the open field. The balance of the defense is good. They don't have all the talent they need to be a great defense, but the intensity of their play, I think that's the critical factor in Dallas's improvement.
Well, their defense, in the last 17 games, in only 2 games have they allowed more than 2 touchdowns. That speaks well of Jimmy Johnson's scheme. Second and 8. O'Donnell incomplete to the tight end Keith Cash. 7th round pick by the Skins this year, Cash, and O'Donnell goes down as he throws.
O'Donnell is tough, as you know, and he's certainly confident. Visiting with him last night, he sits there and he talks to you, look you right in the eye. He can bench press 405 pounds, so he's strong, he's physical, he's got confidence, but boy, is it being tested today. And he's having to account for 2 or 3 bodies coming by as he looks for his receivers.
Casillas a little late on that tackle. The ball clearly had been delivered.
Well, right now, Pittsburgh is running a lot of more complicated blocking patterns to fake the run and then throw, and it's just not going to work against this attacking defense.
A fake and then a long throw, incomplete. Jeff Graham, the rookie from Ohio State, just a half stride short as Ike Holt was on the coverage.
Now that's a curious call. They faked a reverse play, the quarterback did, and then threw the ball up the field. But there isn't any way that Isaac Holt's going to be worrying about a reverse. He's in bump and run coverage. He's just looking at the receiver. So the fake meant nothing. So on 3rd and 10 against man-to-man, it really wasn't the appropriate call. No question about it. Should have been a 1st and 10 play. Fake something, then throw the ball.
Straczynski's first punt, a good one. He didn't get the second one off on a high snap. This one's okay. Wobbly, short kick. Martin, no fair catch. Oh, was he drilled? Carnell Lake with a running start, and Martin sacrificing. Even though the kick was short, he figured maybe he could elude that first man. Dallas gets it at the 28-yard line.
Look at Lake. Ooh.
That'll make you go for dentistry.
This Heisman Trophy moment is brought to you by AT&T, the right choice. Michigan's Desmond Howard says he never dreamed of being this successful, but the junior's record-setting year has made him the front-runner for the Heisman Trophy. Howard's specialty has been the big play. At times, he's been unstoppable, and come December 14th, many feel Howard won't be stopped from realizing a Heisman Trophy moment.
Hidden Valley Ranch of Thousand Oaks. Are you waiting longer for calls to connect? Fabricant Carousel Company of Glendale. Are you saving less than you'd hoped since leaving AT&T? We want you back. AT&T Pro Watts. A discount plan with very competitive prices. Switch now and get 1 month of long distance free. We want you back. Call 1-800-222-0400.
I want to ask you about something.
Okay. Okay.
I'm crazy about you.
Well, I'm crazy about you too. That's it?
Oh.
What? What? Come on, what?
He is the NCAA's all-time winningest coach, guiding over 300 players into the ranks of the NFL. Saturday, the legendary Eddie Robinson leads his Grambling State Tigers against the Jaguars of Southern University. It's a Southern tradition as rich as pecan pie. The Bayou Classic, Saturday on NBC.
And a happy Thanksgiving from Irving, Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead the Steelers 7-0. We're early in the second quarter. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. Ball at the 29 of Dallas as Steve Beuerlein goes to work.
Excellent
play action, and there's the throw to Irvin, who has the first down at the 41-yard line.
Now Beuerlein was unhappy with himself because Irvin had to reach way low to get that ball. He wanted Irvin to be able to run with it after the catch. But excellent fake. Now this is very, very good coaching. Nice fake. Look at the timing and the feet of Beuerlein. That ball's right on the line, but you see how low and away it is. Irvin really didn't have anywhere to go once he caught it. Bursting, planning, balls in the air. Very well done.
First catch today. He was a #1 pick out of Miami, University of Miami, where he starred and set all the receiving records for the Canes. Now Emmitt Smith gets about 8 yards on first down out to the 48-49. A reminder at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be presenting the Yavis We Try Harder Award given to the game's most valuable player.
Excellent fire-out blocking, man blocking, and at the conclusion of the play, you'll see a clean shot right up the field. Thomas Everett had better make that stop, number 27. 183-pound guy from Baylor. And he had to make the play. You don't want that to happen very often.
All the rushing yards belonging to Emmitt Smith, halfway to his 18 carries. That mark for Dallas success, and a rare attempt to run by Darrell Johnston, and he gets nothing. His 14th rushing try all season, this young guy from Syracuse.
you know they go wherever he does, because typically he's leading the play to block. So if you give them the ball, they're going to be there anyway. They're going to go after Johnston. They know that Emmitt Smith's going to be right behind him.
No one blocked Gerald Williams, so it's 3rd and 2. Earlier today, the Lions defeated the Bears 16-6 at the Silverdome, and they move into a first-place tie in the NFC Central, 9-4 each. And in the rivalry of the state of Pennsylvania, the Nittany Lions defeated the Panthers 32-20. Fiesta Bowl bound Penn State, where they'll meet Tennessee here on NBC. Emmitt Smith to the 50 and then pushed back. The spot is inside the 50, Steeler territory. Hardy Nickerson and David Little shoulder to shoulder to push back Smith.
Pittsburgh's playing that 3-4 defense that you don't see that often anymore in the NFL. So many teams are going to a overshift, undershift, 4-man line. But David Little and Hardy Nickerson are physical enough that Chuck Knowles feels they can stand in against those offensive guards and make that defense work. And it happened there. They took on the guards and did a fine job.
Looks as if they're about a half-yard short. In fact, Jimmy Johnson's already sent Mike Saxon and the punting team on, but Red Cashin has called for a measurement. Saxon, who is one of the most successful punters in the league and has been for several years now, inside the 20, and this will be another opportunity for him. As you can see clearly, not close enough for a first down. He donates $100 each time he is successful inside the 20. He has 11 this year. He's never had less than 19.
You know, Dick, once you go for it on 4th down, you whet the appetite. You whet the appetite of the fans, and so at this point, the fans, every time there's a 4th down, are going to want to go for it.
Those are thank you notes from the Dallas Children's Medical Center that he helped support, wishing him a happy Thanksgiving. They even serenaded him in the Dallas locker room a couple of days ago. So Saxon giving back the spirit of this holiday. And over end to let it bounce. And he takes a nice backward roll, and he has his 12th kick inside the 20. They'll down it inside the 15-yard line. Bill Bates was the Cowboy there first. Timeout.
It's about style. It's about power.
NBC Sports, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving. That word thank you is a powerful word, or 2 words. Thank you. It carries a lot of strength. And I hope all of you are taking time to thank someone you love on this day. Barry Foster tried to go. Bad ankle. Was in the first series appearance. He's out for the day. Warren Williams takes over at running back, and Williams gets the call and breaks into the clear. He's out to the 30-yard line and a first down. The biggest play on the ground for the Steelers today, 16 yards.
That was an age-old power play. Typically, they call that a 16 power. The backside guard and tackler is going to pull, and the fullback, in this case Johnson, was going to kick out, and it was extremely well blocked by Williams and Roberts at the point of attack. So this is really the first well-executed play that we've seen people come up with.
Merrill Hodge drawing a crowd again. Jack Del Rio up on top makes the hit, and down underneath was 57 Vincent Smith.
Del Rio's really found a home, because I was wondering if he'd ever really make it physically, but this middle linebacker spot in that Dallas defense has really been a factor for him. He's been able to be unblocked and go to the ball, and at 240 pounds, he makes the single tackle.
He and Dwayne Bickett were operating side by side as collegians with the Trojans of Southern California. Bickett, a #1 pick of the Colts. 2nd down, 7.
Ooh, a blitz.
O'Donnell to Lips, and Lips pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line by rookie Larry Brown.
O'Donnell is being tested. Gee, they came after him that time, and people were picked up just at the last instance. Merrill Hodge was able to pick up just at the last instance. Notice Warren Williams in the game. Nice job coming right up underneath and making the stop. Well, that's a real test for a running back. All the good things happen with the ball, but when you don't have it, you take on the linebacker that way. It's tough when they get that big running start.
7-0 Dallas, 9:26 left in this first half. First down call to Warren Williams, and flags go down as Vincent Smith makes another tackle, number 57, along with Del Rio Smith, who plays with a heavy heart. A week ago, his mother passed away, and his grandmother, hearing the news, had a heart attack. He had to leave the Dallas team, came back just in time for the Washington game.
77 on the offense, 10 yards, still first down.
And played remarkably well, said Jimmy Johnson. And hold by Hazelrig, and he knows how to hold because that was his talent as a collegiate. He went to Pittsburgh Johnstown, where he competed in the NCAA heavyweight wrestling, both in Division I and Division II, and won 3 national championships in each. He was 6 times the top heavyweight wrestler in the nation.
Think of having a record of 143, 2-1. 2 losses, 143 wrestling wins.
O'Donnell, good play fake. Screen, and it's set up beautifully. Warren Williams. Boy, what a job by Vincent Smith to fight off 2 blockers. He allowed the Steelers 10 yards when it appeared they might have a big gainer.
That time O'Donnell was going to fake the counter play away. It was very well done. We've seen it in the films before. If they pick just the right time to make it work. Now the center is going to come out on the screen. But watch these people faking this way with the ball. Now you'll come out on a screen, but you get the center and the back outside. Very well done, but it takes a little bit of poise on the part of the quarterback. He has an unblocked man, but look at the blocking out in front. Very well done. Those kind of things are good once a game, and that was a critical time to call it.
They got the 10 yards back from the holding call.
Look out.
Almost intercepted by Isaac Holt. He leads the Cowboys with 4. That would have been good for 6 points.
Well, Neil O'Donnell looked right and threw right. And the last thing the quarterback wants to do, being right-handed, is look right. You see the jump on the ball. Isaac Holt had a big jump on a ball that sort of fluttered. You just can't look to that right side, Dick, and throw to that right side. Those defensive backs are on the move when that ball's thrown.
Bill, we want to remind folks to stay tuned for the Domino's Pizza halftime report. A special Thanksgiving feature, Gail Gardner visiting with Denver rookie Kenny Walker. You know, he's that deft defensive linebacker. It's a beautiful story. Join Bob Costas, O.J. Will, Bill Parcells. Halftime with the other highlights of this day. Down the middle, almost deflected into the hands of the Cowboys this time. It was number 37, James Washington.
Well, Stone and Lips were right together down the field. And again, it was a play pass on 3rd down. You see the fake, and you see people crossing. But on the 3rd down, the defensive people don't play for the play pass. They're looking for the forward pass. So the fake, they've done that twice now. The fake on 3rd down, I'm not sure. They must have seen something that Dallas does to call those kinds of plays in those kinds of situations.
Kelvin Martin, who took a mighty lick the last time he failed to call a fair catch, is inside the 20 as Trzynski. Almost another one. And down he goes at the 27. That's 2 times the Steelers have gotten a tall snap from Dermontti Dawson.
What do you say? That ball is towering. That's 2 of them. You'd think on the sideline you'd work that out, or the center could make an adjustment. You just can't have the fate of your teammates in your hands and do that kind of thing. Just can't be done.
The first time the Cowboys got the ball at the Steelers 16, but a couple of sacks by the Steeler defense forced Dallas back, and eventually Ken Willis missed from 45 yards. They get another chance now.
Now, Dermontti was looking to block quickly. Conceivably, he was more worried about picking up somebody that was rushing than snapping the ball accurately. No excuse.
Another golden opportunity for Dallas, leading 7-0. Beuerlein to throw. Complete to Irvin, his 2nd catch today. First down at the Pittsburgh 15.
Just a square out pattern. Irvin's going to go 12 yards. Crossover. There he goes. The ball's in the air. The ball's caught. Now, you rarely have a Steve Beuerlein that can come in without playing for over a season and throw the ball with this accuracy and with this poise.
David Johnson turned around by Irvin's quick feet. First down at the 15, a 12-yard play. Irvin right. The rookie from Tennessee, Harper left, and they stay on the ground. To the 10-yard line goes Emmitt Smith.
Smith just attacks that line of scrimmage like the entire Dallas team attacks. He just explodes and hooks something there when he gets there. And his body lean just breaks tackles and blockers. It's just an attacking team, and it reminds me so much of that San Francisco team of 1981. So similar, even in the sense the coaching style is so similar.
Again it's Smith. Big hole. First and goal at the 3-yard line. Rod Woodson came over from a corner to save a touchdown.
In this case, Smith is going to cut back, and he's just getting running room. He's going to start to his right. The play's designed right, but you see him cut back. And in this case, David Little just simply did not get off a blocker. He was there with his hands on the blocker and never left the blocker to make the play.
Smith with 46 yards. He starts this week third in NFL rushing, well over 1,000. It's first and goal at the 2. That's Ewald, the tight end in motion. Smith, Woodson can't bring him down, and then the other corner, David Johnson, bumps him out of bounds.
Well, that was well done by Woodson. He attacked the line of scrimmage. He blitzed from the outside and cut off that angle that could end up in a score. He just couldn't get the tackle.
Smith lunging forward to the 1-yard line. They spotted.
Speaking of Woodson, over 100. Well, I don't know what his total contract is, but he makes over $1 million a year at this point. Highest paid Steeler ever, including all the great ones. Of course, times have changed. But over $1 million, highest paid defensive back in the league.
On second and goal, Smith. Is he in? Very close. Now they're going to spot it just outside the goal line. Third and inches is David Little, able to make the tackle, number 50.
Well, it's awfully close. Smith has a chance, but the backside of it was where the problem was. He just couldn't cut back. Good attacking by the linebackers.
D7 Gerald Williams, the last line of defense for Pittsburgh. That much for a 14-0 lead.
You have to assume that Emmitt Smith will simply go right up over the top and make it.
No. Gerald Williams again, the third-year man from Purdue, denies. And what does Jimmy Johnson do here?
That wasn't the time to start sliding outside. The previous play, we saw Woodson coming up the field on a blitz. If Smith had gone up over the top, he'd have had it. Just the wrong decision for that situation on the field. And you see, he should have gone right up over the top there. Instead, he bent outside, right into Woodson again.
So Willis tries, well, actually shorter than an extra point, 18 yards. Novacek to hold. And it's 10-0. So out of 2 bad snaps, Jimmy Johnson's Cowboys manage only 3 points.
The more income your investments earn, the more taxes are taken out. But with Nuveen tax-free investments, the more you earn, the more you keep. Ask your financial advisor about Nuveen tax-free investments, or simply call this number.
It has a breathtaking shape. It has new overhead cam power and standard anti-lock brakes. Introducing the all-new Pontiac Grand Am. Excitement with purpose.
The adult world is designed to keep us moving. And while this may make us more efficient, it's not exactly a party. Luckily, technology has produced a cure. It's called a Game Boy, the personal game-playing system from Nintendo, with lots of sports, action, and puzzle games to choose from. And it comes with a puzzle game Tetris. It could change your outlook.
I'm sorry, sir. Your flight's been delayed. Cool.
Game Boy by Nintendo. Have you had your fun today?
Nothing lead, and they've done a great job covering kickoffs. One of the reasons, number 29, Kenneth Gant, they kind of swing him, give him a running start, and the last two times, Gant has come right down the middle after Dwight Stone or Jeff Graham. Here he comes, right behind the kicker, straight down the field. And it goes out of bounds, so it won't matter this time, although he was the first guy downfield, as Pittsburgh will take it at the 35-yard line.
Well, this is a break for Pittsburgh to get that ball on the 35-yard line. Otherwise, they couldn't have done anything.
Timeout with 4:06 left in the half.
Because you believe.
30 for NFL Live. And then key game in the AFC East, the New York Jets 7-5 go against the Bills 10-2 up at Rich Stadium, and the late game Kansas City, Seattle battling for a playoff spot in the AFC West. 12:30 Sunday at the game. From the 35, Pittsburgh trailing 10-0. 4 minutes left in the half. Downfield to Stone, knocked away brilliantly by Ike Holt. This veteran acquired from the Vikings in the Herschel Walker trade makes another solid play.
Holt just played the ball beautifully. Just a quick post. Watch him go right to the ball as it gets there. Very, very well done. You know, Holt spent as much value to the Dallas team as the trade that sent Walker all the way up to Minnesota. This guy has really helped this team. Aside from the draft choices, that was the miracle trade of all time. How Dallas made that trade and came away with so much.
And still draft choices to spend. They have 2 firsts, a couple of seconds, a couple of thirds next year. O'Donnell to the sidelines. Caught by Jeff Graham. I don't think he got that second foot down.
No, the ball was too far outside. It was there, and it was a play pass again. Didn't quite get it done. There's a play pass again on a situation like that. It was a good call, but the throw was there too late. He just threw the ball too late.
4 consecutive incomplete passes for the steel-eyed Neil O'Donnell.
Here's a guy that, family-wise, 4 brothers that played college football.
He was the youngest of 9 children. He said boy, Thanksgiving Day was football and a big, big feast. Dad had to go to Pennsylvania sometimes to get a 40-pounder, he said, to bring back to New Jersey. O'Donnell calls a timeout with 3:56 left in the half. When we return, the Steelers looking at 3rd and 10.
Citizen ProMaster Flight Chronograph indicates 22 time zones. Navigation calculator.
You weren't lying when you said you were a pilot, were you?
Citizen ProMaster for professional use only.
This is the new Pontiac Bonneville. Inspiring to the eye and to the touch, even to your peace of mind. The all-new Pontiac Bonneville. A higher level of excitement.
Now get 2.9 financing for up to 48 months.
To a big comeback win. No controversy here. They're good buddies. O'Donnell on 3rd and 10. Looking for something big to Jeff Graham, but it's out of bounds. He pushed off on Holt. That could be against the Steelers anyway, although the pass incomplete.
O'Donnell just reared back and threw that ball as far as he could. No question about it. Almost a desperation kind of play. You can see that Holt's in excellent position all the way. And there's a little pushing and shoving there. I don't think it had any effect on the play at all. You'd hate to see that called. But one way or the other, just a desperation pass on 3rd and 10. Over 3 minutes left in the half. You'd wonder why they need to do those kinds of things. Holt's been there every time they've looked over there. He's been in good coverage.
Well, nothing really has worked too well, has it, for Pittsburgh?
There's no foul. The ball was not catchable. The flag is being picked up. Be fourth down.
No matter how that's sorted out, Pittsburgh was going to have to punt.
Well, let's look at the snap this time, Dick. Let's see if we can watch right from the start.
Boy, Monty Dawson.
Dawson does it.
Now maybe the Cowboys are putting some extra pressure on him on that snap. Let's see what they do. They have a man lined up right over his nose, as you would expect.
Well, now they know. Now they're going to really come after it just to shake people up.
Straczynski, I wonder he didn't drag a stepladder out there with him. This one's on the money. And he gets away a very high dying spiral. Martin at the 27 and dives to the 32. 38 yards on the punt and a 5-yard return, and Dawson breathes a little easier. Well, tonight on this Thanksgiving Thursday, we hope you'll join us. Always a big Thursday on NBC with a Cosby Show in the leadoff spot, followed by A Different World and Cheers, Wings, LA Law. I know many of those shows your favorites. We hope you enjoy them again tonight. Halftime, the story of Kenny Walker from University of Nebraska, the rookie linebacker with the Broncos, playing big-time football with a handicap of not being able to hear. Intriguing and touching story I think you'll enjoy. First down, Dallas leading 10-0, 3:40 remaining before halftime. Play action by Beuerlein. He goes deep. And Alvin Harper well covered by David Johnson. Harper,
nobody in the middle, Dick. The streak safety was not there, and they must have felt he wouldn't be there because on first down they sent one receiver down the field basically. It's a full play fake inside right here, and just one receiver bending down the field with a safety leaving the field. So now you'll see the good play fake. Nice job by Beuerlein. Just a single man down the field, and is that a dangerous concept unless you're blitzing everybody?
David Johnson, who played at Kentucky on the corner, covered well enough. 2nd and 10. Good screen on the flat, or actually a swing to Smith. Oh, is he clever?
Nicely thrown, but Smith's moves on David Johnson. The ball is thrown so Smith could run with it, but look at these quick moves. And other people are sort of waiting and not attacking that ball when it's thrown. It's tough to leave one guy out there with a guy like Smith.
43 catches, leading NFL running backs, and he's into this game with 1,107 yards rushing, trailing only Thurman Thomas of Buffalo and Barry Sanders of Detroit. And with that move and still another kind of talent, great feat that you might see on a Broadway stage and have the crowd out of its chairs applauding. Emmitt Smith.
I understand his dad had the quick feet too. Emmitt the second. This Emmitt the third. But his dad played semi-pro football all the way to nearly 40 years of age. And he's the guy that sort of inspired Emmitt the third to be a football player.
What a player he is. On first down. Beuerlein down the middle. Michael Irvin at the 40-yard line. First down. Pittsburgh territory. And there's Pearl Irvin cheering her son today. Here from Fort Lauderdale. And his lovely wife, Sandy, who was a former Miami Dolphin cheerleader. And her heart now belongs with the Cowboys. I talked with Mom of Pearl yesterday, and I asked her about Thanksgiving dinner, and she said, had such a big family, 17 in the family, and Michael's 15th of 17. Said they loved their desserts. She had to do potato pie and pumpkin pie and cherry cobbler. And Beuerlein. Harper goes down. He was pushed down apparently by Rod Woodson.
Woodson had to make that move because it was a double move, and Woodson wasn't going to make the coverage. So he had to sort of grab Harper and hoping no one saw that. So the double move will almost happen. You'll see it right here. And They move to the outside, and Woodson sort of caught. Now, see him coming forward. He knows he's in trouble. He's got to slow it all down.
Yeah, he bid on that pump fake, and he was looking for a possible interception, made his move forward. Good job. And again, for Beuerlein, relatively inexperienced in this Dallas offense. I mean, he's been here, but he hadn't played much until last week against Washington, and yet the coordination and the articulation between himself and his receivers is as if they'd been around 3-4 years. Troy Aikman, the injured quarterback on the sidelines. Emmitt Smith, he's putting some pain on that Steeler defense down to the 28-yard line, and the 2-minute warning coming up.
Smith wanted to go outside. They cut it off. He just broke it back. And the way he attacks the line of scrimmage, it's full bore. He lowers his shoulders and just attacks the line of scrimmage.
Timeout. Cowboys looking for more, which they did. You see the timeouts remaining, upsetting the Redskins on Sunday. Their record is tremendous. And then with a layoff of 10-11 days before the next game, traditionally they've been very strong coming out of the holiday. Emmitt Smith to the 26. It'll be very close to a first down. David Little and Rob McGovern just activated by the Steelers, making the tackle.
You have to give some credit to Darrell Johnston, the leading blocker on all of these plays at fullback. He's 235-pounder from Syracuse, and that's the job he had there. And he's much like Tom Rathman of the 49ers. Rathman handles the ball more. He's more of a receiver. But that physical blocker, the guy with stamina and strength, can really make a running game.
He's 6'2" and 236, third and less than a yard. Smith trying to go outside again, and it doesn't work. Carnell Lake was there.
Smith not keeping track of the situation to bounce a play. In both of these situations, we saw it on the goal line, we've seen it in short yardage. He'll bounce a play, and there'll be a defensive back sitting out there that's blitzing. It just cuts it right off. So he's got to be schooled better in that area.
Fourth down and 5. One would think the field goal unit would come on. Willis has the leg. It would be about a 47, 48-yard try, but apparently, well, they're going to let that clock run down. The Steelers are not going to call time. And Jimmy Johnson just figuring no matter what he does here, and it must be that he's going to bring in the field goal unit, he wants to burn off all the time he can so that, and then they use the timeout so that Pittsburgh will have a limited chance to come back after the field goal attempt. And Willis and the field goal team is on first this timeout.
Here's an automotive tip from Walmart. Cars and budgets last longer when you pay attention to 3 things: how you drive, what you put into the engine, and where you go to buy it. That's why you should choose Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil. And every time you get it at the Walmart price. It's always the low price. If you care about your car, you'll change your oil with Quaker State. If you care about your money, you'll change to the Walmart price. Always the low price. Always.
Steve Beuerlein playing solidly. The offense not exactly overwhelming by the Cowboys, but good enough to take advantage of a couple of miscues by Pittsburgh. A 10-0 lead, and now Willis trying a 47-yard attempt. He missed from 45, hit a short one, 18. This for a 13-0 lead. Blocked and picked up by the Steelers at the 40-yard line, and that very nearly picked up for a touchdown because Keith Willis, number 93, had an open field ahead, but wanted to make sure he had the ball first. So that the first break for Pittsburgh today, but they have only 27 seconds to try to take advantage of it.
I think 95 inside made the block, and all it was one hand. One hand went up and stopped the play. You'll see it right here. That's the block. But now on the right side, or excuse me, on our left, you'll see that Smith is in position to pick the ball up, and he almost gets it done. It's Willis, almost the ball bouncing to him to get it done.
I think it was Gerald Williams, 57, as O'Donnell gets it off to his tight end, and Adrian Cooper is into Dallas territory, and this is the deepest penetration by the Pittsburgh offense today. 11 yards on the play, and timeout called. 16 seconds left in the half as O'Donnell and the Steelers hoping to at least get a field goal try out of it. O'Donnell, is it a good catch? What a try. That's Lewis Lips. Did he get his hands? They're marking it a catch, and now someone else comes in and says no catch. Well, Or are they? They said no good, and then they marked the ball at the 32.
If Lips could have only caught that ball running. Now, it looks like he got it. But if he only could have caught it running, I'd assume there'll be a replay. Now, he'll break into the middle of the field. No one there. No one there. Catching that ball on the run, you could have seen he'd have really done some damage. But it looks like he at least made the catch.
Boy, what an effort. Boy, it looks like he gets his hands underneath it. It caroms up into his body from that angle. But
the ball comes up off the ground. He made the catch. I don't think there's any... That's refutable.
Will the timer preset the clock to 11 seconds?
They're going to put another 5 seconds back on the clock for 11. No indication that it's being reviewed yet.
Why wouldn't this be reviewed? He caught the ball.
Well, they ruled that he didn't catch it. Chuck Knoll and Dick Koch, one of his assistants there. John Kolb on the sidelines.
Those are the tough ones. When they see this film, the coaches the next day.
Yes.
And what a critical factor for the game. No review.
Boy, that's surprising.
That's surprising.
So, 11 seconds, time for one more play, and then if successful, a field goal attempt, but they need some yardage, Pittsburgh. They're going to throw it up and hope for a lucky bounce. And it was knocked away incomplete inside the 10 with 4 seconds remaining.
I've never seen that play have so much success, that Hail Mary play. This year, how many times a week ago, Dallas got away with a big play.
Yes, Alvin Harper, who can high jump 7'2", just leaped above the crowd in Washington, D.C. to take a touchdown into the locker room just before halftime in exactly this same situation.
It's really tough if you can't get the ball into the end zone. You see, even if Pittsburgh were to have completed the pass, it would have been tough to do much with, other than a penalty of some kind.
Last play unless penalty of the half. O'Donnell lofts it high. And it's knocked away. Boy, they had a chance. Jeff Graham had his hands on it. Ike Holt stuck that left paw in there and broke it up. End of the first half. A stifling Dallas defense.
Tight play. He's got his chance.
And so at the intermission, it is 10-0 Dallas Cowboys. Stay tuned. Only 10-0, only 69 yards. Emmitt Smith alone had 70 yards passing and receiving, and we're looking forward to our usual turkey dinner on an airplane going home today. But Louis Lips, who, we talked about his entrepreneurial nature, he now has these lip-smacking Louis Lips gourmet chocolate chip pecan cookies. He's not sending one to the review booth, but he said we could take this with us. And that's actually his wife's Lips. She was Miss Mississippi, Tony, her name, and he apparently is he's doing very well with these. I present those to you.
I'll take these, but
don't protect them now. You got to give the hits come in here.
What a portfolio! He owns a funeral home.
Watch it. Hold on. Don't fumble.
He owns a funeral home.
I got to go to work here.
A daycare center and a cookie business. He's covered the spectrum of investments.
The kickoff by Anderson down to the goal line, and out comes number 81, Alexander Wright, the fastest of the Cowboys. He stopped short of the 20-yard line as we look at our Coors Light halftime statistics. And not much to cheer about on either side, and especially if you're a Steeler fan, only 69 yards. Cowboys but 113. And the turnovers don't reflect 2 bad snaps on punts that gave the Cowboys excellent field position deep in Pittsburgh territory, but they were able to manage only 3 points out of those opportunities. The touchdown coming on a 6-yard run by Emmitt Smith on the Cowboys' first possession as they went 51 yards in 11 plays. Not much offensively. Let's see if it picks up here in the second half as the Cowboys go for 8-5. Pittsburgh trying to win. It would be their 6th against 7 defeats. Emmitt Smith. Nice play on the corner by Greg Lloyd, number 95 from Fort Valley State.
Lloyd is the premier player in that defensive unit because he can really do just about everything. He's the best tackler, and he can move very, very well. And you see him just ward off his man and make the play. Smith is tending to break outside just a little too conveniently for him. He's not willing to take the ball and cut it back the other way. And so right now that Pittsburgh defense is just flowing right with him, and when he gets to the line, they're all waiting for him.
equaled the Steelers' total offense. Emmitt Smith, second and long for Beuerlein. Good protection, and wide open is Irvin, but he can't hang on. Ball a little late getting there, and David Johnson had a hand in front of Irvin who couldn't quite pull it in. And remember Beuerlein yesterday talking about how competitive that Irvin is. He said he could make 9 circus catches, but if he bobbles the next one, he's so angry to himself, he wants to be absolutely perfect.
He just has ultimate confidence in himself. 143 yards last week against the Redskins. That's pretty darn good. He doesn't have the great speed. He just is a fine all-round athlete. And just believe it or not, Dick, at University of Miami, he had Blades, Perryman, and himself as receivers. 2 guys that'll be great pro. 3 guys that'll be great pro.
Flag down, third and long, and right over the wrist. Boy, did he come back. That's him, Michael Irvin, right over the top of Woodson, who seemed in position for an interception. And Irvin, after the drop, makes a spectacular catch. Now let's check the penalty. It's against, apparently, the Cowboys. Bring it back, says Red Cashin.
Well, going into the game and visiting with Steve Beuerlein, he says, we're going after Woodson. We're going after Johnson. Irvin can do it. He's 6'2". Harper's 6'3". They've got the size and the athletic ability. And in this case, it's a fine catch, and we see the movement by the right tackle, Eric Williams.
He's a rookie from Central State of Ohio. They were the NAIA national champions a year ago.
Well, he's sitting back in that 2-point stance to pass protect, and just losing his balance slightly, he just sort of tips backwards. And I'm just not sure how great that 2-point stance is, especially for a younger player. Just so unfamiliar with it.
6'6" and 319 pounds. So 3rd and 16 for Beuerlein and the Cowboys deep in their own end, and the draw to Smith, well read by number 94. That would be Jeff Brady from Kentucky, a rookie.
Brady comes in on the nickel defense, and to give that job to a rookie, they have to have a lot of confidence in it. And it's his job to cover the back. Now you see what he's doing is just covering the back, and when the back carries the ball, he's right there to make the stop. If the back would have released out of the backfield, he'd have been right with him.
So Mike Saxon, only his second punt today, will kick from around his own 5-yard line. Jeff Graham, the rookie for the Steelers, very deep at the 37 of Pittsburgh. They'll have to race up to get that one, and does on the run. 43-yard line of Dallas. So the Steelers' first possession of this second half on the Dallas side of the field after a 38-yard punt. 8 yards on Graham's return. And Bill Bates, a familiar old name, one of the old-timers from the Landry era, made the tackle for Jimmy Johnson's Cowboys. The second half, they begin at the Dallas 44. 69 yards total offense in the entire first half. Let's see if Neil O'Donnell, Joe Walton, the offensive coordinator, Chuck Noll had some different plans for the Cowboy defense in the last 30 minutes. Warren Williams, yes. Williams to the 27, first down.
Well, that was the best field position that Pittsburgh's had all day, over a half of football. They hadn't got to that position, and they really took advantage of it that time. Well-blocked play with the counter block with Hodge leading right there. Nice job of blocking. Dawson, nice job of picking up the linebacker. Big hole, and Williams took it. That's the single best execution they've had in over 30 minutes of football.
He's carried 3 times for an average of better than 10 per carry. On first down, it's Hodge this time on a quick hitter to the 20-yard line, and a gain of 8 more.
Well, the adjustments at halftime, the planning at halftime, Joe Walton and the staff have put it together pretty well thus far. That time they just quickly gave it to Hodge as the ball was snapped, and he came right in behind Ricketts, and really Dallas didn't account for that quickness hitting into the hole. They were looking for a tailback.
Second down and 2. First time the Steelers have been in field goal range today.
Blitz.
And the give to Williams. Breaks a couple of tackles and has a first down at the 16.
Williams really had to negotiate a lot of people to get there. And that was just an effort because people blitzed right into the designed hole. Right into it. And when that happened, you'll see people blitzing right into the hole, and Williams is going to have to break it back to get away. So he ran right to the crux of the field, got a decent block by Hodge, but Williams was able to break back right through the blitzers.
He played with Melvin Bratton in the Hurricanes backfield, 87-88. On first down. O'Donnell to the end zone to Lips. Too tall. The coverage by Larry Brown.
Lips wanted to run a post corner where he'd start in sharply, then break back out. But Brown did just a fine job of staying right with it. You'll see Lips start in, Brown be in good position, and just break right back out with him and be in position to make a play on the ball. Just well covered.
Neil O'Donnell, meanwhile, going back to the first half, has completed only one of his last 10 throws.
This Larry Brown, number 24, reminds him of a Willie Brown many, many years ago. Excellent coverage, and he's a rookie.
On TCU. Give to Hodge. And the Cowboys were waiting. A gain of only a couple. Vincent Smith and others.
Every time I see that 24, I think of Willie Brown, one of the great, great cornerbacks of all time.
Now the coach, Cal State Long Beach, replacing George Allen. So from the 15, Bill Walsh, play a little quarterback here yourself. 3rd down and 8.
Go for the field goal.
Well, wait, you got another down to do something else.
My guess is that Dallas is going to come after him, and a slant pass or the back in the flat as an alternative is a way to take care of it.
Hodge, the only running back. 3 wide receivers, so it'll be a triple right. O'Donnell. Incomplete, and then it's deflected almost into the arms of number 85, Keith Cash. That would have been a nice little gift for the Steelers.
Again, a 3rd down call, nickel defense, and a play fake by the quarterback. That's a number of times that's occurred, and it must be part of the plan. But no one's fooled by the play fake. They're all playing pass.
So the field goal unit on, and highly reliable veteran Gary Anderson, the all-time scorer in Steeler history, tries one from 32. The first points for Pittsburgh if successful. Good job on the hold as a flag goes down. Straczynski handling a tough snap. And now let's check the penalty.
Dallas people pointing. Holding would be catastrophic here. It would put the ball too far from the goal line.
Legal use of the hands against the Steelers. A rare call on a field goal try, and that'll move it back 10 yards.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 54 on the offense, 10 yards, still 4th down.
That's Nickerson, the linebacker.
Now Nickerson is right here. You're going to see him reach in with his left hand to hold a man and reach out with his right hand. Oh, gee, that's flimsy call. Very flimsy.
So now they'll have to try it again from 42 yards. And it is good.
Again,
Gary Anderson.
A really average snap. That ball rolled almost to the holder. And it's amazing the poise that the people had. Watch this ball down here and watch the position of it when it's kicked. It's on the wrong angle. He still makes it.
10-3 Dallas.
Andy White and Harvey Martin played side by side on the Dallas defensive line. While White made running games disappear, Martin made opposing quarterbacks wish they could. In Super Bowl 12, they both zeroed in on the pass pocket. As individuals, each was named co-MVP. Together as teammates, they helped bring Dallas a world championship and made the Cowboys the best they can be.
Now Gary Anderson drills it right through the end zone. No chance for Alexander Wright. They'll take it at the 20-yard line. Gives us a chance to tell you what's ahead here on NBC on Sunday. The Jets in Buffalo. Remember the first game when Buffalo had a scare down at Giant Stadium? The Jets really played them tough, and afterwards Levy accused Coach Conslett of faking injuries to slow up that no-huddle offense. Bruce then argued back.
Bruce is a vital guy. I mean, he's got a semi-short fuse, and he explodes on those kinds of things. My guess is there might have been a little of that going on, but those are the tactics of the game.
Levy said, if you don't stop calling me bad names, I'm going to tell your mommy. On first down now, leading 10-3 out of the backfield to Smith. And Emmitt Smith out of bounds after a pickup of 1. David Johnson there for Pittsburgh.
Gerald Williams was in excellent position also. Inside-out position on the ball, so he wouldn't allow the ball carrier to break back. So they corralled that on previous occasions just by the defense. They've been giving one-on-one out there, and it hasn't worked. Now here's an excellent young prospect, too.
Not to be confused, however, with Gerald Williams, who is normally in on the same defense. Gerald, J-E-R-R-O-L, plays outside, and Gerald, left with a sprained thumb earlier, is a big man inside, but he's out at the moment with an injury. Dallas has to spend a timeout as Beuerlein goes to the sidelines. It comes with 9:07 left in the third period.
Filtered. Miller Genuine Draft. For those who discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
VHS camcorders just got into shape. The new Sharp Slim Cam, the smallest, lightest full-size VHS camcorder in the world. Noticeably sleek, slim, and fat-free, with all the great features of the big camcorders. 12:1 zoom, 1 lux, shoulder stability, and uses VHS tapes that fit right in your VCR. The Sharp Slim Cam, the world's smallest full-size VHS camcorder. It's the great new shape in camcorders.
The white zone is for immediate.
We didn't design the new Mazda MX-3 to be like apple pie. Jalapenos were what we had in mind. Because if something's not worth having an opinion about it, it's not worth having. And with the only V6 in its class, the MX-3 is one hot chili pepper. Hey, you're not John Doe. Why drive his car? The new MX-3 from the new Mazda.
It just feels right!
Darling, after 10 years, the only thing I'd change about you is your clothes.
Bugle boy.
Why don't you try this one on first?
And we welcome you back to Dallas with a happy Bill Walsh. She had the winner in the Huggies Baby Derby. I want to congratulate you on that, Pops.
I didn't realize it, but thanks for the information. What did I win?
No. You're also right about Steve Beuerlein. 8 for 11, solid as the replacement for Troy Aikman.
He's sound fundamentally.
Second down and 9. Cowboys leading 10-7. Very quiet offensive game here. He goes short to the tight end. Alfredo Roberts, another former University of Miami player from the Jimmy Johnson Canes era. It'll be short of the first down. Johnson talked about not the loss of Aikman yesterday, but he felt the biggest loss is Jay Novacek, the tight end. Novacek, who had 54 catches. He was the top NFL tight end with 59 last year, and on a record-setting pace for Dallas would have broken Doug Cosby's mark here. It's in the 60s. Novacek out today, only being used as a holder. 3rd and 3. Beuerlein broken up, and there go the flags as Thomas Everett all over Michael Irvin.
It really wasn't there for Beuerlein. Irvin was covered all the way through, but Beuerlein should have thrown much more quickly, and they got a big break with that call. They really did, because the play was covered and covered well. You see it's thrown late. Irvin's open early, and the play is borderline close, but Dallas got the call.
So Everett, just his reactions here appeared to be guilty. So it's a first down on the interference at the 32. Thomas, who has his brother down in Tampa, Eric Everett, rooting for him. He's a cornerback with the Buccaneers out of Dangerfield, Texas. Beuerlein dropped by Alvin Harper, incomplete. Should have been caught. One of the many great wide receivers out of the University of Tennessee. What a tradition they have there in Knoxville.
I think they've had 6 first-round picks over the years, And they'll have another one next year, I assume, with Pickens coming out.
Carl Pickens.
And they're all, well, I think the track program at Tennessee attracts these guys initially, the Willie Gault group. And Grady was not a first-round pick, playing for the Raiders, and he's a world-class sprinter, of course. So if you want to be a receiver, Tennessee's not a bad choice.
Goes back to Stanley Morgan. Of course, Anthony Miller, one of the bright stars out in the San Diego Charger team. Hardy Nickerson makes the hit at the 35-yard line with Willis assisting. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. Happy Thanksgiving, the 24th traditional NFL game here at Texas Stadium, as the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers struggling to move the ball. 10-3, Dallas a touchdown favorite, leading the Steelers, who did very little in the first half, Pittsburgh, but got a field goal on their first possession here of the second half. We're at the midpoint of the third quarter. Steve Beuerlein for the injured Troy Aikman at the controls for the Cowboys. There's his man, Michael Irvin, his 5th catch today, his 70th of the season.
Now this is very well done by Beuerlein and by Irvin, because you'll see the blitz coming right up inside, and Beuerlein just holds his ground, knows the receiver will be there. Irvin sprints and stops and is thrown and caught. That's very well done. Beuerlein comes to Dallas with good, solid fundamentals from Mike White of the Raiders, the quarterback choice.
His mother, Pearl Irvin, asked her when Michael was a youngster on Thanksgiving Day what was his favorite treats. Oh, the drumstick, and he wanted the biggest one, and he wanted all of it. Don't you dare even cut a piece of meat off the drumstick.
I'm sure his sister Janet and the whole family is watching.
Almost intercepted by David Little, as the ball either slipped out of Beuerlein's hand or was deflected by Keith Willis, who was on the charge.
It appears it just slipped out of his hand, and of course this could have been disastrous. Yeah, it just came out of his hand almost. What a break that would have been. You know, Dick, this game smacks a little bit of the previous game we've done with Miami and Chicago, with Miami not being in the picture until late in the game. And in this particular case, it just takes one quick score, and Pittsburgh's right back in it.
2nd and 10 from the Cowboy 46 as Little looking for his 2nd interception of the year. One got hit with. There's that pump fake, and there he's open. Michael Irvin! Irvin had Rod Woodson beat, and they just missed connections on the goal line.
Well, that ball was thrown almost 70 yards, and it was thrown accurately 70 yards. So anyone that would suggest that Beuerlein isn't a top-flight quarterback, nice out-and-up move. And Rod Woodson is playing that first break. This is the 3rd time today that first break's got him moving in the wrong direction. He's coming forward as Irvin goes by. Well thrown, just missed by inches.
Irvin, whose nephew, he's the uncle of the University of Kansas record holder, Tuxedo Tony Sand, who had the NCAA record rushing game against Missouri last weekend. Over the middle! Kelvin Martin drilled by Gary Jones, but hangs on. It's a first down, and Jones, boy, he's woozy. Or rather, the receiver, Martin, woozy.
Martin is a 165-pound football player, and he got tagged, but the poise to hold on to that ball, knowing somebody's going to be there the instant he gets a hold of it. And it's well thrown. Now you see just holding on to the ball, no way to protect himself. Didn't have time to do anything, but just know he's going to get tagged.
Kmart, they call him. That's a 2nd hit he's taken today. Remember, on a punt return where he didn't fair catch, and he took that one right helmet to helmet from Gary Jones. Martin, who is the top receiver for Dallas the last 3 years, but has only 15 this year.
Was he a teammate of Doug Flutie? Goes back to that, doesn't he?
Yes, he was at Boston College, and there's Jones in his 2nd year out of A&M. They're getting ready to play rival Texas later today. Martin is conscious and sitting up now.
Now that's threading the needle, too. The throw itself was very, very well done. Right on line, right up in the shoulder area. Now, there isn't anything anyone can do there. Those are the...
Boy, you could see his eyes roll back just like a knockout punch.
That's the toughest part of football, that open field, full-speed contact. sort of an indicator for Dallas football. These guys are really performing for their coach.
Yeah, it's a tough team, and that is a credit to Jimmy Johnson.
It is.
The ones that didn't want to play that way are gone.
No, I wasn't sure Jimmy Johnson would make it in the NFL, but after seeing the demonstration yesterday in our meetings, I knew he had the intensity, and he grabs and shakes things to make them work. And with Jerry Jones, I think they both coached like they played at Arkansas. Smallish guys who are just so feisty and enthusiastic.
Yeah, that terrier temperament. Oops! Beuerlein loses his footing at the 42, and Willis will be credited with a sack. And Martin being watched closely on the sidelines. Oh, that's the human body is an incredible machine. To take that kind of wallop and still get up and have at least your senses. Of course, the fear of the crowd here with a recent casualty, Mike Utley of the Lions, and the whole football world rooting for Utley, who's obviously a brave and tough and solid guy. And I was moved near tears today in watching that presentation before the Lions-Chicago game, where his teammates gave him thumbs up, and we encore that feeling for his future. Smith hit almost immediately at the 41-yard line on a draw as Aaron Jones, 97, makes the stop. Bringing up 3rd and long for Dallas, and here comes Greg Lloyd. He's a top pass rusher, leads the team in sacks and leads in forced fumbles. He's knocked the ball away 4 times this year. Slight concussion is the word on Kelvin Martin. Don't know whether he'll be able to return, but that's nice to see him on his feet.
You just don't want too many of those kind of catches in your career. Maybe half a dozen over a 10-year period is plenty.
Alexander Wright comes in as the 3rd wide receiver, number 81, replacing Martin. He's on the bottom of your screen. 3rd and long, 20 to go. Beuerlein almost intercepted. It was right there for Everett to grab, but he was trying to watch his man and the ball, and only able to break it up. He leads with 4 interceptions, the Steelers.
Now this ball was, you see, the ball just didn't have any tight spiral, so it got there late. And the last 2 passes that Steve Beuerlein has thrown were those kinds of passes. That's really a tough one, because Thomas Everett was right there to make the play.
Jeff Graham back. It's a short pooch punt situation for Mike Saxon. They might even take the 5-yard penalty. Nope. Oh, they ran into him, and the flag goes down. Another Pittsburgh mistake. Jeff Graham out of bounds at the 13.
I think it'll be a 5-yarder.
Might be
it's
more.
A 5-yarder.
Saxon holding his ankle. Of course, with punters, you can't always tell. You hope that it's not serious. Sometimes they're such good actors that what would have seemed like a very serious injury is only to get the maximum penalty. Let's hope that this isn't serious.
Well, he was caught in midair. Now that ball gets there slow, but he's caught in midair, and he just twists that ankle. It is caught underneath. I can't say that is a flagrant foul. It just happened to catch Saxon wrong.
89 on the defense. 1st down.
Ernie Mills, a rookie from Florida. And you see then Mills concerned about the fallen Saxon. He himself is lucky to be playing today. He was in a minor auto accident, Mills, and suffered a 20-stitch gash over his left eye. The Steelers didn't know whether he'd even be able to play today. In fact, that decision made just before the kickoff. Well, as they attend Mike Saxon, we have the full timeout. 4:34 left in the 3rd period. The Cowboys on the penalty get the 1st down. It's the major penalty, not the running into the kicker. 10-3 Dallas under his own power. 15-yard penalty, the 1st down on 4th and 20 for Dallas.
I really have trouble with that penalty, but you can see Pittsburgh self-destructing. But that was a 5-yard penalty. It was unfortunate that Saxon twisted his ankle, but there was no malice, no effort, no major contact. One man dove to block it, just missed, and caught the other man's ankle. And typically, that's a 5-yard penalty.
David Little, number 50, making the tackle. Ken Willis, the field goal kicker, would be the backup punter if Saxon cannot continue today. 4:07 left, and Dallas, while they've had many opportunities, and in some eyes, Cowboy eyes, could have been leading 24-0 at the half, but weren't able to take advantage of opportunities. Lead by only a touchdown, but they're back driving toward the Steeler goal. 2nd down and 7. Smith breaks the tackle, but gets only a yard or two.
I'd say honestly, Dick, that these two clubs, Dallas has every chance this year to be a playoff team. But both clubs' offensive lines are not fully matured and aren't really at this point among the better offensive lines in the league, because both have trouble against real severe slanting, driving, attacking defenses. They just don't pick up people quickly enough or physically enough.
Emmitt Smith now 64 yards on the day, but held fairly well in check by Pittsburgh. 24 carries, only 64 for Smith. Barry Sanders had about the same today for Detroit. Thurman Thomas will get his chance against the Jets on Sunday, the leader. That ball thrown outside, and Carnell Lake, like a basketball player, right in the face of his man in the lane. Incomplete, and here comes Willis to try another field goal. He has had one block today from 47 yards. He's been good from 18, and he missed wide right from 45. This one will be 37. Extend the Dallas lead to 10. And it is no good. He missed again. So the Cowboys 1 for 4 in field goals, and that upsets the locals.
Well, they just can't put the Steelers away. 3 points could very well have done it the way the Pittsburgh team has been moving the ball, but they just can't get him put away.
And just missed to the right. He's missed both times to the right. 38 yards officially on that misfire. He's been quite reliable coming into the game. 18 for 25 with a long of 54. But 1 for 4 today. So Pittsburgh still alive, trailing by just a touchdown. 2:58 left in the third. They start from the 20. O'Donnell into the flat to Warren Williams, and the big running back gets 11 yards. Larry Brown, the tackler.
Just a matter of flooding one side of the field, and Williams sitting outside in the zone defense, and Dallas was going to give them that play. It's a rather dangerous play. You'll see right down here at the bottom of the screen that there'll be a soft spot in the zone. Williams will sit down in the hole here, and you see all of this room, but Brown's there to make the stop, and they're not going to get away with that too often.
Pittsburgh isn't. Merrill Hodge, the only running back, and the tight end Cash goes in motion. Throw is complete to Lewis Lips, his third catch today. Isaac Holt, the tackler, a pickup of about 8.
These are all pass patterns designed to be worked against a zone defense, where you have a hooking receiver, a wide flare. You'll see the 3 men coming down and basically hooking, and then the wide man hooking. If it were man-to-man, there'd be a defender standing right next to him. The play just wouldn't have a chance. And so Pittsburgh has a feeling, I guess, as to what the defensive coverage will be from situation to situation.
Lips now with 43 catches on the year to lead the Steelers. 2nd and 1. And a toss to Williams with blockers. Boy, that's a good play by James Washington, because Williams had a lot of room ahead had Washington not knifed off that blocker to make the tackle.
That was a Franco Harris play. That play I can recall so vividly when I was at the Bengals, and Harris would get that ball outside with his pulling guards out in front of him, and they get outside the defense before it has a chance to respond. And Harris, as you know, just ate up people getting running room outside.
Boy, you do bring back some memories. You can just see Franco on that play.
Remember us, we had a great series with Pittsburgh when I was with Paul Brown and the Bengals. We'd win in Cincinnati, they'd win in Pittsburgh.
Williams, a productive day, 8.8 per carry. First down at the Steeler, 49 for O'Donnell. A throw back to Williams. Good move, good block by Hodge, And Williams bumped out of bounds at the 40 of Dallas. That'll be another first down.
You know, this is so much like the Miami-Chicago game. Miami is shut down and then all of a sudden comes alive in the fourth quarter, right at the end of the third quarter, and wins the ball game. Now there's all kind of room. Again, the zone defense.
Clock running near the 1 minute mark in the third. This drive starting after the missed field goal back at the Pittsburgh 20. Now the crowd urging the defense. First down, Williams. To the 37-yard line, a gain of 4. Dixon Edwards from Michigan State, their second-round pick, makes the tackle.
Well, the play calling by Joe Walton at this point has been, he's made adjustments at halftime, and they're very, very solid calls. They're working against that zone. They're throwing a run in there about every third down. They have a run that stretches the defense, and they can get just one touchdown.
Second and a short 8, final seconds of the third quarter. Tight end and hit immediately Keith Cash, a rookie from Texas, whose twin brother Kerry is with the Colts. Not enough for the first down. It'll be third down and about 3.5 as we'll be back after these messages. Sports from Irving, Texas. This holiday officially proclaimed, I know you're a history buff, by what American president?
I think it was during the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln.
That was indeed Abraham Lincoln in 1863 made this the last Thursday of November an official holiday. O'Donnell hit from the backside, almost intercepted. They might call it a fumble. No, they're calling it a forward pass. Red Cashin moving his arm forward. O'Donnell just did get that arm in motion as Jim Jeffcoat, the veteran from Arizona State, came in the back door.
Jeffcoat had every chance. You could, from our angle, you could really see this coming. You can see him coming around to the outside, and O'Donnell had no idea that he was going to be there. O'Donnell was concentrating downfield.
It's a 10-3 game, fourth down, and a tough 3. It would be a 52-yard field goal, and on the field is Gary Anderson. And Jack Del Rio, the leading tackler for the Cowboys, is down. Here to be back of the leg. Boy, this is the time, and every year you can just count on. When you get near Thanksgiving and you talk to any coach, first thing you hear from them is what you used to tell us to, the injuries. And of course, it's just the compilation of all the hits in a long year. And it's so true. It's the team that's lucky enough not to be hurt too deeply that often finds its way into the playoffs.
It's these last 4 or 5 games. Injuries to quarterbacks, number 1. Running backs, number 2, especially, that can just lose momentum for a team, stop momentum. And there's Troy Aikman, and a great young prospect, but history of injury.
I'd like to remind you on Saturday, a special here on NBC at 2:30, the Bayou Classic featuring Grambling and Southern with 2 terrific football programs. There's Eddie Robinson, his 50th year at Grambling. Some of the great NFL stars out of those 2 schools. Harold Carmichael, Doug Williams, Charlie Joyner, Hall of Famer with the Steelers, Mel Blount. So be with us. It's a happening in New Orleans, sold out at the Superdome. Grambling and Southern, Saturday, 2:30 Eastern on NBC.
There'll be a lot of pro scouts in those stands. I bet every team is represented by 2 or 3 people. So many fine young prospects.
Here's Gary Anderson trying, well, it'll be between 51 and 52-yard field goal. Anderson has kicked one 49 this year, his longest ever, 55. This would pull the Steelers within 4.
Replay official, the play stands, it's 4th down.
Now this strategy people could argue with. They really could. 4th and 4 versus a long field goal. And the 3 points aren't going to be that. You still have to score a touchdown.
Oh, boy, he really topped that one. He knuckled that one low, hit it very high on the ball. That's uncharacteristic of Gary Anderson. Lucky it wasn't blocked.
Looked like he rushed it. His timing wasn't there. Good hold. Caught the ball right in the middle. Didn't even come close. It's easy enough to second guess. We all can do it, everybody at home and in the booth. But the fourth and about 3-yard situation, the 3 points weren't that valuable at this time.
That one looked like Hoyt Wilhelm kicked it. 34-yard line then, as Dallas gets good field position off the long missed field goal attempt. Still 10-3, early fourth quarter. Beuerlein on the fake. And a nice throw to Irvin. Out of bounds at the Pittsburgh 44.
That's a pretty good throw.
22 yards.
A deep over pattern by Irvin, coming in behind the linebackers. Now this fake's holding both liners and then the tight ends in front of them, and then Irvin slips in behind people.
Irvin leads all receivers, 6 catches today and 79 yards.
Now that's a Jerry Rice pattern. Exactly what we did with San Francisco. Fake John Frank coming shallow with Brent Jones, then putting Jerry in behind everybody.
Smith to the sidelines. Is he in bounds? Yes, they're calling it a catch at the 33. Another for Irvin, a dozen more yards if it counts.
You see that ball carry to Irvin. Carries right to him.
Now, if he dragged that right toe, it's a catch. From that angle, you can't tell whether he made contact.
Now, this takes a good arm, good solid arm, good balance by the quarterback to lean in to the throw. What I like about Beuerlein, he can do everything you ask of him. He can throw the deep ball. He's already thrown one 70 yards down the field. He's got good touch, and he hasn't played for over a year. So excellent trade. They end up giving a 4th-round draft choice, and they've got an outstanding backup.
Beuerlein calls time. You could see on the replays Irvin had the toe down before he even made the drag. It was obviously a catch, and we have a timeout.
Pinstripe suits and high-heel shoes.
They're cooking here in Dallas, fired up. Even the old retired television producers are here cheering the Cowboys. Boy,
I like the arms. I got to try the arms. I never thought of that.
You got to learn some steps. Go out to a disco now. Emmitt Smith. No dancing there for the top runner of the Cowboys inside the 30-yard line. Tackled by Jerry Olsofsky and Greg Vesey, 91. There's Mills, a young man we told you ran in small auto accident. Barely can see how that left eye, and then caught with that 15-yard running into the kicker, roughing the kicker penalty. But as has been the case for so many opportunities by Dallas today, they came away without any points, and so lead only 10-3, 13 minutes to go. 2nd and 7. Beuerlein skipped it to his tight end, Alfredo Roberts, and it appeared again somebody on the backside. It might have been Gerald Williams again, getting a piece of Beuerlein just as he threw.
Gerald Williams has got that speed and that explosion. He just puts his shoulder down, gets underneath the tackle, and you'll see him on the outside, and he's just about there every time.
He's got just a nudge on Beuerlein enough to throw him off balance. So it's 3rd and 7. Beuerlein 13 for 22. So who is that? Didn't even knock coming in there on that backside. Cowboys are 4 for 12 on 3rd down today. Smith. They go to the run trying to catch Pittsburgh with a surprise, but Carnell Lake was there to drag him down.
Pittsburgh does a great job with their strong safety position. That time Carnell Lake sneaks up in close to the line of scrimmage, and he sits right there to make a play. And you'll see him right here. Now Pittsburgh's in a nickel defense, and Lake just is right there to make the stop. The combination this guy has of size and speed makes him a great utility man.
Willis will try his 5th field goal today from 43 yards away. He's been good on only one. He's missed, remember, to the right twice. Not this time. Dallas Dallas 13, Pittsburgh 3.
Super duper duper.
Before you buy a compact camcorder, ask.
Will its tapes play in my VCR?
No.
It's got a mini enhancer. Zigzag zoom.
Will its tapes play in my VCR?
No. What?
Now this is the Panasonic Palmcorder camcorder.
Will its tapes play in my VCR?
Yes, it's VHS, so its tapes can play in all VHS recorders.
Will its tapes play in my VCR?
It will, when it's the Palmcorder from Panasonic.
Foot Locker's got a new kind of Reebok shoe. They're not for stealing home, but for stealing away. They're less about the track and more about the field. They are about improving your time, but in a whole new way. They're for the times you forget how much you like to win and remember how much you love to play. They're the new sport casuals from Reebok, and they're at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
Graham and Dwight Stone deep for the Steelers, who are averaging only 7 yards a kickoff return today.
That Dallas intensity is getting there before the blockers are in position to take them.
A little shorter this time to Stone. And he's to the 25-yard line. Robert Williams and Stan Smagala in on the tackle. NFL Live on Sunday, 12:30. O.J. Simpson, he really likes the Jets, and Bill Parcells isn't quite sure, so O.J.'s going to take him out to hospital. The Jets practice and give him some pointers as the Jets get ready for Buffalo. And we understand a report that Bruce Smith, the all-pro defensive end for Buffalo, practiced again today and may well, they'll announce it later in the week, whether he'll be playing against the Jets at Rich Stadium on Sunday. That's that 1 o'clock game on NBC. There's our lineup. Trailing by 10, O'Donnell goes to the pass on first down. Oh, had a man open, and he'll get a flag on it as Keith Cash, the tight end, tripped as he was going for the ball.
It looks as though their legs got tangled. I didn't see any foul along the way.
James Washington, the defender.
But the Steelers need a break. Now there's the up pattern, and there might have been a little holding, but it just looked like a trip on that artificial surface.
But the fact that Washington had made contact too encouraged the flag.
They were sort of obligated to make the call. You know, Dick, another subject. How many
interference by the defense? Number 37, first down.
You know, how many of the players we interview have single-parent families? So many of them, and so often it's a gal who's supporting a large family and working. And I just like to make a tribute and acknowledgement to those gals on Thanksgiving for what they've done.
It is Mother's Day, isn't it? O'Donnell to Merrill Hodge. Hodge picking up blockers and was one away from really turning off something special. Gets to the Dallas 41-yard line as he's hit from behind by Jim Jeffcoat. Merrill Hodge, we asked him about Thanksgiving, and he's a big outdoorsman. Said, "You ever go hunt wild turkey?" And he has.
What was it? They took him out as part of a guide and a television program. And
said, "Don't fall asleep and always have your rifle ready or your gun ready."
And they blowed a little turkey sound, and he had fallen asleep. And when he woke up, they're all around him. He took 5 shots and missed every time.
They told him, "You're not shooting ostrich. You're a little high."
There's that toss play.
Warren Williams. It works again, and it's out of bounds with a first down at the Dallas 33. 11 more yards for Williams, who's had a good day. James Washington, the tackler. 57 yards now for Williams.
Strictly a speed play with the flanker cracking back on the safety and both linemen pulling, the tackle and the guard, and Tunch Ilkin was out in front of the play, and it's just speed getting outside. I didn't see why that altercation started.
On the 33, Williams comes out. They go to 3 wide receivers. Dwight Stone slotted right, Litz wide right, Graham to the far left. And they bring the tight end Cooper in motion. O'Donnell going deep for Graham. He's out of bounds, so was an ineligible receiver. Larry Brown, good coverage by this 12th round pick from TCU. What a pick that is. And here he is, a starting corner, and he can play man very well.
He just, look at this technique. He just slowly but surely rides his man out of bounds without a foul. There wasn't anywhere to go.
He wanted Everson Walls, number 24, and he has earned it. He's the youngest Cowboy, just 22. So O'Donnell looks at 2nd and 10 from the Dallas 33. He's 12 for 27 today, just 98 yards passing. Steeler fans, if this were in Pittsburgh, might be chanting Bubby. Underneath, and shy of the first down, a pickup of about 7 to Dwight Stone. I believe that's his first catch today, 2nd.
Well, O'Donnell threw that. He drilled it.
He's from Middle Tennessee State, is Dwight Stone, where he was on a pretty fine team at Murfreesboro with one of your guys,
Don Griffin. You're right. Don Griffin has become one of the premier defensive backs in the league. And Ray Rhodes found him at Middle Tennessee. And Stone's a comparable athlete.
3rd and 2 at the 25. Complete to the tight end Cash, and he has 10 yards and a first down at the Dallas 15. Del Rio back in the game, in on the tackle, number 55.
Well, there's all kinds of traffic around the receiver. They're going to run a man in motion and then hook the tight end. You see crossing underneath, and they end up with a tight end hooking. So there's a man outside the tight end, a man inside of him, and he's isolated on a zone defender. So that kind of thing has been one thing that's worked for Joe Walton today.
9.5 minutes left. Dallas 13, Pittsburgh 3.
You can see by 117 yards, you can see that Pittsburgh hasn't been able to do anything down the field.
Hodge met at the line of scrimmage. Jim Jeffcoat. He replaced Harvey Martin back in the early 80s. Jeffcoat in his 9th season, and another big play. He's had a good game.
Excellent. He just stuffed John Jackson, unfortunately. Just stood him right up and then came off the block to make the play. I can remember Jeffcoat in our big 49er Dallas rivalry. He was an excellent young player at that time.
Well, they've stifled Merrill Hodge. He's had 9 chances to run and gained only 10 yards total. O'Donnell to Graham, incomplete. And again, man coverage from the rookie, Larry Brown.
Brown is right there. He has a future. He's got everything it takes. Just watch him cover today. It's the first time I've seen him, but he's got all the movement that a Don Griffin of the 49ers has. He's quick on his feet, nimble, and he can stay right with the receiver without trampling him.
How could a man like him be around to the 12th round? He went to junior college, Southwest Community College in L.A. He's a high school product out of Los Angeles. Then 2 years at TCU, had 3 interceptions. What a steal. 3rd and 10. Actually 11.
Big blitz.
Picked up. The throw to Lips. He's got it. 1st and goal at the 3.
That's a big-time throw. O'Donnell has got it. He might be 2 or 3 years from becoming a top category quarterback, but this throw tells us he can do it. He'll step right into this thing. Watch the ball carry to the receiver. Lips didn't have to slow down, didn't have to reach back. He caught that ball right on the numbers.
Well, that deep out is really the test of a quarterback.
It really is, right there.
So 3-yard line is where the ball is spotted. The Cowboys leading 13-3, but Pittsburgh a chance here to be a big factor in this game with 8 to go. It's Williams, and he has a touchdown. Williams, 4th of the year.
Boy, do they do that well. You wonder why you don't see more of it. The tackle pulls, the guard pulls, and one kicks out, the other turns back, and there's just a little hole to sprint through. That's the 3rd time we've seen it, and it's just so well done. You see the 2 blocks outside will be very, very evident, and if we can get a chance to look at it, we'll show you what we're talking about.
That extra point coming. We'll have to wait until this extra point. Williams now 59 yards and the second touchdown of the game, first by Pittsburgh. Anderson nails the extra point, and this might turn out being a Thanksgiving treat after all.
This is an interesting play. It's an age-old play, but you'll see a pull here to the outside and a pull here. One will block in, one will block out, and then the ball carrier will break right between them. So it's an excellent pattern to take a look at. Both pulling, one's kicking out, the other's turning back. There's that hole, that alley to sprint through. It's strictly a speed play. And I can remember the Raiders with Clem Daniels running that. And all the way back to Sid Gilman's days, many, many years ago, with that speed toss.
Well, that was the most impressive drive by either team today. 75 yards and 9 plays by a sputtering Pittsburgh offense, but they put it together there, and Warren Williams for the injured Barry Foster. Williams had rushed for only 129 yards all year and just a 3.4 average. But today, he's rolled up some big numbers. His average 7.4. There he is, waving to his home, Fort Myers, Florida, where they're celebrating him. He grew up in quite a neighborhood. His neighborhood buddies growing up, Deion Sanders, the Falcons and the Braves, and Mike Greenwell, the talented outfielder with the Boston Red Sox.
Well, now in the offseason, when he sees those guys, he's got bragging rights, believe me.
I'm sure they're watching and rooting for him today. And his numbers, 59 yards and a touchdown. 92 total with the pass receptions. So, 13-10. Plenty of time left, just under 8 minutes. As the kick comes down to Alexander Wright. He's got blazing speed, and he's out to the 34. Anderson made the tackle. Little Gary Anderson gets his nose in there and trips him up.
Well, that kicker can be a factor. In this case, he was. Just concentrate and then follow up all the coverage people, and if anybody pokes out of there, you take them. It's easy enough to say, but Anderson is not built for that kind of duty.
Well, tonight, after you're rubbing the crumbs from that pumpkin pie away, enjoy the Cosby Show, A Different World. Cheers, Wings, L.A. Law. All-Star Thursday night lineup on NBC. From the Dallas 34. Beuerlein. Batted in the air, incomplete. David Johnson knocked it away from Michael Irvin.
Well, I wouldn't come back to that. This isn't the time and place in the game to throw deep outs. You're sitting there with a 3-point lead, and you've completed a number of them, but look at the break on the ball that Johnson's getting. It's going to be tight. And I don't think that Norv Turner's going to come up with that one again. He's got mileage out of it, but throw the ball inside.
To that drive, 75 yards by Pittsburgh. Remember, they had only 69 yards all the first half. Dallas needs a long drive just to keep it away from Pittsburgh's revived offense. Beuerlein down the middle, incomplete to Irvin. Oh, he drew a crowd. There were 5 black and gold uniforms around him.
Well, Dallas is not taking time off the clock. We know that. And last week, they took the ball and got their series of first downs to hold on to a victory, and there's plenty of time left. But they're not absorbing that clock at this point. They've taken maybe 6 or 7 seconds off in 2 plays. So Pittsburgh still has time.
3rd and 10. 7.5 minutes left. Irvin, he's been the big target way out to the right for Beuerlein. Looking for Irvin. He goes there again. He's got it, and he could go all the way. Rod Woodson can't get him. Touchdown. He couldn't outrun Rod Woodson, who was Olympic potential in the 110-meter hurdles, but he was strong enough to kick his way out of the tackle, and Pearl Irvin, his mother, and the White and his wife Sandy celebrate. Boy, they'll have that jelly cake. He said that's the favorite dessert. He'll get jelly cake tonight.
I'm sure Janet, his sister, the whole family back home are standing up right now.
Celebrating in Fort Lauderdale, the rest of that family is 17. She says we have 35 grandchildren and 10 or 12 great-grandchildren.
Well, it's a close play initially, but we don't get any safety help coming from the outside in. And you see, oh, there it is. It missed. Oh, gee. To make a play on the ball, the defender didn't go through the receiver to make it.
Actually knocked off his own man.
Yep.
Boy, 2 great weeks back-to-back for Irvin. Last week against the Skins, or last Sunday, just 4 days ago, 9 catches, 130 yards and a touchdown. Today, 8 catches, 157 yards and a touchdown. And they're cheering the replay.
That size really comes in. There's only so much you can do with a smaller receiver, but a Jerry Rice kind of receiver, a Harper, an Irvin, big guys that can break tackles. In that case, the strength paid off right at that point of reception.
Obviously, Jimmy Johnson agrees with your theory, Bill. Irvin is 6'2", and the other starter, Alvin Harper, 6'3". So you get that man coverage and you put that height against those smaller DBs and you've got something physical going for you.
Well, you see a lot of strength.
So it's 20-10 Dallas with 7:22 left. Only 32 seconds to score that touchdown. Dwight Stone takes it at the 1. Stone dragged down by Manny Hendricks at the 14.
Well, we can take a look at what happened and how it became this right here, and I believe that's going to be Lake. You'll see the pattern come down and break in, but Lake will overplay to the outside, and that was where the error is. If he came inside out on the ball, he'd have been fine, but you see him come to the outside and let the receiver inside of him, and it spells touchdown.
And Woodson showing his great sprinting ability, but Irvin's strong enough to kick out of that tackle.
Well, Irvin, you see him weave and bend. That's what you do if you're slower and somebody's chasing you. You start bending back and forth so they can't reach full stride.
O'Donnell went right by Merrill Hodge as if he didn't see the ball. Back to Irvin, if we can, for a moment. Remember, he came into this game as the leader in the NFL in yards receiving, and he's picked up another 150 today. He's certainly on all-pro course. He's got to get some Pro Bowl votes, young Irvin, who was a #1 pick out of the University of Miami. In fact, he told his teammates when they went from the Landry era to Jimmy Johnson, they said, well, what's Johnson like? What's he going to be like? He said, you better get yourself in shape right now. And that was 6 months before training camp. Second and 10 for O'Donnell. To Lips. Oh, what a play by Lips. He was dragging those toes, and Johnson said no, he was juggling. But Lips, how in the world could he stay inbounds, keep those toes down, tickling the sidelines?
And it's so tight.
Boy, a toe scraper by the lip smacker.
Boy, has he become a great professional. Now, if he had lined up a little closer to the center position, he wouldn't have been running out of room quite so readily. But what a catch.
Jimmy Johnson, the official, right on the spot.
Sometimes you can split too wide running that pattern. There isn't any room left when you get there.
Oh, Lips comes to this side and has it knocked away by Isaac Holt.
Well, Lips wanted to run with the ball. He was going to cut back underneath Holt, and he lost track of it, took his eye off of it. Now, the pattern will be there. The completion's there, but you'll see Lips want to catch it and coming back inside, and he lost his concentration.
It's the same pattern, but to the other side of the field. Second and 10, stops the clock, 6:37 left.
Boy, I like these Dallas corners. Holt and Brown can cover.
Lips left, Stone to the right. O'Donnell to Stone, and it's complete. At the 48, the hit by James Washington, but Stone holds on for 21 more yards.
Well, that took courage. Stone knew it was going to be there. He knew Washington would be there, no question about it. He could see him. Now he just makes sure he catches this ball. Now this is a sacrifice. The courage these guys have is unbelievable. There isn't a sport like this ever where guys were asked to do this and enthusiastically did it.
Melvin Martin leading the game on a similar play. The Dallas Cowboy little wide receiver suffered a mild concussion, has now returned. First down, Pittsburgh. O'Donnell fumbles. Dallas recovers. It's Jimmy Jones. Russell Maryland knocked it away. Jimmy Jones recovered. And a flag is down.
Well, Joe Walton can talk to Neil O'Donnell about carrying that ball, moving laterally with one hand.
Holding by the offense from the 65. Holding by the offense.
Yeah, he pointed the wrong way.
65. That penalty is declined. First down.
Now watch the ball being just carried around like it's a baseball instead of a football. You just can't do that.
Russell Maryland made the big play for the Cowboys.
You need both hands on the ball, Dick. You've got to have both hands on the ball when you avoid the pass rush. You see it all the time.
Jimmy Jones, also from Miami of Florida, the backup to Maryland, recovers, and Dallas is in business again.
They want you. You at the meeting, you at the client desk. You in two places at once. So you can't be held back by some preset limit on a bank card. Not you. What you need is something that's behind you, all the way. The car, the American Express car. Don't leave home without it.
Wouldn't it be great if your blind date, Rachel, turned out to be Rachel Hunter, the international model, and you had a romantic dinner at the beach with beer, really great beer, like Keystone Light, and things went really well. So you had Rachel build you a beach house, because it turned out that Rachel was a great little homemaker. Cold-filtered Keystone and Keystone Light. Bottle beer tastes in a can.
So what's left to do?
Gonna shingle in the roof.
I'll do that in the morning.
Wouldn't that be great?
For some people, the best thing about the morning is that it's over by the afternoon. So the Braun shaver is quiet to soothe the soul. It's curved to comfortably fit the face, with 3 shaving positions to cut, groom, and trim with superb results. Braun, a state-of-the-art shaver that could improve your state of mind. The world's #1 selling foil shaver.
I can't believe you dragged me out of bed so early.
I told you, Kmart special savings are only from 7 to 11 a.m. And besides, it's not that early.
Not that early. The roosters aren't even up yet.
Neil O'Donnell stripped of the ball. Russell Maryland making the play for Dallas, and the Cowboy fans are really beginning to believe, and you can hear it in the hotels, the taxi driver. That's usually a pretty good indication. What's that guy Hacken tell you about the ball club? They feel that Jimmy Johnson has done a tremendous job. This club is on the roll, and there goes Emmitt Smith, the other part of the punch. They got a top-notch passing game, even with Beuerlein the backup, and Emmitt Smith, a 1,000-yard rusher. And in fact, he is one of only 4 Dallas runners in history to rush for 1,000. That's kind of hard to believe. Herschel Walker did it once, Calvin Hill twice, and of course the great Tony Dorsett 8 times.
Well, you know, at Florida, they knew what they were getting. He once rushed for 316 yards against the New Mexico State team in a real tight game. So they knew what they were getting. This guy attacks the line of scrimmage as quickly as any back we've seen all year. He hits that line of scrimmage.
And yet it doesn't look as if he's running that fast. He just glides, such an effortless stride. He gets it again. And he's inside the 20-yard line. In fact, he said yesterday, he's only 22, and he's got those big dark eyes, and they just smile at you. And we were talking about the fact that he doesn't seem like he's running fast, but no one catches him. What was his comment to you?
Well, he looks at these great runners. He's looked at the Paytons of the world, the Dickersons of the world, all these great runners. Thomas from Buffalo, he says, man, do they move? And I just don't move that fast. I don't look fast.
He says, I'm embarrassed when I watch myself.
But I'll tell you, he hits that line. He is so smooth. So smooth, you don't think he is moving that fast.
It's 3rd and 1. With Dallas leading 20-10, 4 minutes to go. Oops, another offside, I believe. No flag. We don't see a flag, and it's Smith burrowing into the middle of the line. Well, the umpire, we can tell you that the crowd today sets a somewhat surprising record for Dallas. It's the 13th consecutive time the Cowboys have drawn 60,000 or more. There's 62,253 here today. They've never had a run like that in their history. And you think back to those glory days. They'd never had 13 straight 60,000 or more here.
That would surprise me. I'd assume that they had sellouts year after year under Tom Landry.
Pittsburgh uses a timeout.
Life is full of little surprises. They come from everywhere. They happen every day. That's why there's the Dustbuster Cordless Vac from Black & Decker. The easiest way to zip up those little pickups, no matter who makes them, no matter where they fall. So when messes go down, pick them up fast and easy with the Dustbuster Cordless Vac.
Super Bowl championships of the 70s, but since 79, when the Steelers won, his teams are just 2 games above 500 total through the 80s and again this year. And if he loses today, it'll be 5-8, and you can't eliminate anything anymore until you go run it through the computer. But that would just about be to squash any flickering hopes for the Steelers. 4th and 1. They go for it, and Beuerlein hit from behind. It'll be Pittsburgh's ball at the 28-yard line. Rod Woodson on a corner blitz. 4th sack for the Steelers today.
Woodson's been coming off that corner in every goal line, every short yardage situation. Right in front of us, number 26. They don't account for the cornerback blitzing, and how would Beuerlein know? But he's done it every time. And at some point, you'd get a guard to double read and come out looking for a defensive back in those situations.
Woodson, a Pro Bowler, is a return man, and then last year as both return and talented corner. Gives his team a chance, but time now an issue. Just under 4 minutes left, and they trail by 10. Earlier today, Detroit beat Chicago 16-6 to tie up that Central Division NFC. O'Donnell is hit. Returning the favor, Russell, Maryland. Oh my, this big guy, the #1 pick in the draft, starting to flex his top-rated muscles.
They've got him down to 275 pounds. Now he'll loop all the way outside Ricketts, the guard, and just make the stop. It's one-on-one, and his quickness beat Ricketts right at the line of scrimmage.
His 2nd sack plus a forced fumble. O'Donnell. Ooh, Dwight Stone, and no flag as Isaac Holt came over the top. It'll be 3rd and long for Neil O'Donnell, who was a sophomore at the University of Maryland. It's a small world. Football replaced, just as he's replaced Bubby Brister this year, replaced an injured quarterback, a junior ahead of him, Dan Henning, the son of the San Diego Charger coach.
Well, he was a great athlete. In high school, he averaged 28 points a game in basketball. Played 1 baseball game and pitched a 2-hitter, then went back to the weight room to prepare for football. So you've got a fine athlete, but a lot of sophistication is needed very, very quickly to be a winner.
3rd and 18. Down he goes. This time Tony Tolbert gets him.
Now those are the big losses, 15 yards. Tolbert just beats his man at the line of scrimmage. The man blocking him tried to take him too high. At some point, you have to reach down and cut their feet out from under them. You can't play the game standing up every down.
Tolbert bringing back memories of Ed Too Tall Jones. He's 6'6" and 265 from UTEP is Tolbert. Brzezinski just gets it away. Beautiful high spiral. Fair catch called for and handled by Alexander Wright at the 41 of the Steelers. 39-yard punt.
So now it's a matter of just taking the ball and running it right down Pittsburgh's throat with a running game and using the clock up. And to be a big winner, at some point, Dallas has to do this well.
Well, a big weekend of football that starts on Saturday on NBC, 2:30, as Eddie Robinson's Grambling Tigers take on Southern University. The Superdome sold out for this annual classic. And we hope you'll join us on NBC for all the fun. And then on Sunday, of course, NFL action. And the game most of you will see around the country, the New York Jets, with a winning record this year under Bruce Coslett against the team with the top record in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills. Their top-rated quarterback, Jim Kelly. Emmitt Smith, looking fancy there, running through tackles down to the 32-yard line, a gain of 11 or 12. David Little finally got him to the carpet.
Smith demonstrates that stamina you need in a great tailback. We're at the end of the game, and he hasn't slowed down a step.
He carried 34 times last Sunday against the Skins for 134. He's carried 30 times today, 90 yards. Updating, counting today's play by Sanders and Smith. They're now 1-2, just ahead of Thurman Thomas. And Thomas will get geared up for the Jets on Sunday. What a great player. Leads in total yardage, rushing and receiving. Thurman Thomas again, as he has the last 2 years. Smith. Boy, what a hole. That hole was 10 yards wide.
Well, you start to crack and you start to cave in, and Pittsburgh's obviously lost the game, and they start caving in slightly, and that's when you get all those big numbers rushing the ball.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes, 1988. A classic nail-biter, down by 4, less than 2 minutes to go. Steve Young proves he is the most valuable second stringer in the NFL.
He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40. Gets away again to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He dives, touchdown 49ers.
Owner Jerry Jones on the sidelines. He and Jimmy Johnson, the coach, were members of the University of Arkansas 64 national championship team, unbeaten. Johnson was a 204-pound defensive lineman, and Jones was a pulling guard at 183. So both times have changed. He's enjoying. He loves the game.
He says, we do it. It's not my team, not Jimmy's. It's together. It's our team, and they work so well together. What I think they bring is energy, and almost in a sense of being naive about all the options of coaching and gathering of talent. They don't have a strict philosophy of some kind. They're just creative and look for all kind of alternatives that sometimes stodgy NFL people haven't done. They get sort of remotely stuck in a philosophy, and they won't leave it. These guys just come in with energy, enthusiasm, and say, now, how can we make this a winner?
And apparently the Cowboys will go 8-5 and stay in the midst of a very difficult wild card picture. There's so many teams still with high hopes. NFC East especially. Give to the fullback Johnston. A rare carry east to the 5-yard line. Now let's take a look at today's Canon camcorder replay of the game. Attention Kmart. Kelvin Martin, nicknamed Kmart. Oh my, what a hit from Gary Jones. Unfortunately, Martin, while he was woozy, just a slight concussion. Not serious. What a hit.
The courage those receivers demonstrate in those situations. As I said earlier, I just don't know of a sport ever where people can take that kind of punishment and perform. Just incredible courage.
Emmitt Smith is out, finished the day over 100 yards again, 109 yards and a touchdown on 32 carries. Beuerlein just letting that clock run down, and will take a 5-yard delay of game, or did he call time first? Red Cashin says he beat the clock by a second. There's Emmitt Smith, one of the stars today. We'll be back with our Avis Man of the Day in just a moment.
Is your car shaking, rattling, or rolling? Whether it's alignment, shocks, or struts, Midas uses top technology to diagnose the problem and top technicians to fix it. For suspension or alignment, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
There's a cologne that preferred men prefer.
Preferred stock cologne from the House of Stetson. Smooth and extra special.
Preferred stock cologne. What preferred men prefer.
in Irving, Texas. The employee owners of Avis salute the game's MVP, Michael Irvin of the Dallas Cowboys. This is 66-yard touchdown, his longest of the year. He had 8 catches today, 157 yards for the leading receiver in yardage in the NFL this year. And that is his 73rd catch of the season. And that's a career high from Michael Irvin and a happy family, mother and wife watching and cheering today. The Dallas Cowboys, final seconds, defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-10. Thanks in the booth to Chris Hall and Jason Gear for their fine help. Jimmy Johnson's team still marching toward a possible playoff.